A lot of retailers are still making obscene profits on them, buying them cheap and then marking them up 6, 7, even 800%.
I do not want to make extra money on selling a lab grown. I'd rather take less profit and sell Mother Earth diamonds.
Don't make a mistake you might regret later. Get the facts from the area's trusted diamond experts at IDC.
I'm just trying to warn people what's coming. I can't sell a product I don't believe in.
International Diamond Center. 4 Orlando locations and online at shopidc.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
You've heard of a pro tip. Here's a mo tip. If you are in an accident, take pictures of everything. The damage, the roadways, and the other drivers, and call the police. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Mo DeWitt, Orlando attorney.
Guys, it's time to deploy the secret weapon. What's that? It's Blue Chew. This stuff is absolutely amazing. And it's a unique online service. They deliver the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it's chewable. It's a fraction of the cost. And wait until you hear the deal I'm going to hook you up with here. The thing about Blue Chew that's fantastic is it's an online prescription service, so you don't have to go to the doctor and have an awkward conversation. You don't have to wait in line at the pharmacy. It comes right to your door in a discreet package, and you're off to the races. This is something you should be using to take your B game and bring it up to an A game. And that is what you need to do today. There's a special deal for you right now. Try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code TNJ at checkout. You just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code, the letters TNJ, to receive your first month free. Check out Blue Chew now.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code OIL25.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisor. Visit TrajanWealth.com.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because you deserve better. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Someone's going to get offended. It's just the way the world works. So to hopefully save everyone a little time and or energy, here's this. The opinions that you hear are those of the host and callers, and not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers.
The News Junkie is on.
The three best friends you never
viral stories of the day. The news junkie Sean Wasson with Sabrina and Sealand.
It is Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. Lots to get to today, from Hurricane Milton updates to a meteorologist cries during a live report. It is a time for you to evacuate. Plus your calls, dispatches, emails, texts, and more. Hey there, Sabrina.
Hello.
Hello, Sealand. How we doing? And hello to you. You can join us on the show. All you have to do is send us a dispatch. Go to thenewsjunkie.com. Hit record on your first dispatch today. You can also watch the show on YouTube and twitch.tv/thenewsjunkie. Your message is rolling right into the studio in real time. And it is, friends, a Share the Show Tuesday. Oh, yeah. That's right. That is when you spread the word about this fine radio show, or hopefully fine radio show. We'll see how it goes today, as always. And you send people a link to the show. You hit that like button over on the live stream. If you are watching on YouTube, you send somebody the podcast. Whatever it is you need to do, you share the show on a Share the Show Tuesday. How's everybody doing on a Tuesday?
Good. Hurricane. That's my answer. Hurricane.
Yeah, everything hurricane right now. Everything hurricane. Everybody talking about it everywhere you go. The only good news we have is after this thing was looking like a perfect hurricane, I heard some of these experts talking last night. These folks who know way more about me, way more about hurricanes than I do, rather.
You were listening to Sean Watson experts last night?
I do. That's all I tune into. I do this show.
I didn't know that about myself. Whoa.
And then I listen to people talk about me. I'm very full of myself. So I'm listening to these experts talk about hurricanes after the show, and they're saying that there is a level of perfect hurricane where it couldn't actually get any stronger. So given the circumstances, given the placement, given the time of year, given everything around it, a hurricane can only grow so big, if that makes sense. There's an upper end to it. And they said that Hurricane Milton was right there. It was like right at this point where there couldn't have been a more perfect storm scenario that would have made it more powerful than it was.
Sort of like when you have a glass of water and you filled it up just so much that the water literally is going above the rim of the glass without
like
spilling out.
Like a little sunset of water.
Just a little curve, but not spilling outside. That is the maximum you could get in there.
Now throw in a bunch of panic and the ability to not find a water bottle anywhere. And I think that is Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, it was annoying yesterday, honestly, going to the grocery store because people are buying dumb stuff that doesn't make any sense. And there's so many people. God, you pull down one of the lanes in the parking lot and there's reverse lights everywhere. People pulling. It's like chaos.
Oh,
it's absolute chaos.
And I have a thing I need to get, and I don't know if it's.
Too bad.
I don't think it's something that where everybody would be stocking up on. In fact, I know that it's not something that everybody would be stocking up on. But I'm like, is it worth it? Do I brave going out into the retail sector to get a can of compressed air?
No, you don't do that.
I have one.
But there's a reason. There's a reason, Sean.
You want to do Whippets?
You're gonna hate the reason.
Yeah.
As soon as
he wants to galaxy gas himself through the storm.
That would be fun. But no, it's not about galaxy gassing myself. I'm talking about one of my ice makers is on the fritz, guys.
Oh God.
Poor thing.
Oh my God. What are you gonna do?
Now, could he use one of his other 3 ice makers? Yes, he could.
And I am using them, but this is the one that makes the nugget ice, and that is important to my wife.
That's essential for the hurricanes. That is, fill the bathtub, make sure you have enough batteries and flashlights. Nugget ice.
Yeah, and I know we were feeling bad yesterday for that person who their whole house flooded and all their animals were massacred. But
imagine if they had nugget ice.
Sealand lost his nugget ice access.
And if I can't get the ice maker working, I'm gonna have to go to every Sonic drive-in and Tijuana Flats in the area to stock up on the nugget ice.
If someone can get him nugget ice before the end of the show, I mean, you'll be saving multiple lives.
Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up, and let's keep this going as a conversation. Which thing to you is the weirdest that gets sold out when people make these hurricane runs on the grocery stores? Because I was shaking my head as I walked by the cereal aisle yesterday, and it was ransacked.
Well, cereal is your dry food.
I thought, you're not going to have milk with it if your things are bad. The milk is not going to be a thing.
You got powdered milk, you could. Or some people just raw dog. Okay, guys, calm down. I don't like it. But some people just raw dog cereal, too.
I mean, I can understand if that's all you got, your food is expired, then a handful of Cinnamon Toast Crunch will suffice.
It's better than nothing, certainly, but it doesn't seem like it would be high on my list of things to grab. And I wouldn't have gone for that, just eating some dry-ass cereal. But it was almost all gone. There was certainly some left, but a lot of it was gone.
During the show, I had just made an Instacart order. Figured, better than trying to go through the craziness of the afternoon. And it was incredible how this sweet lady Esther was like, no available.
Yeah.
And I go, there's no water at all. And she goes, Dasani. And I go, refund the order, please.
Oh, God.
Just refund, not Dasani, for the love of God.
That's my other favorite thing.
It's the only water that's left.
Yes. It's so embarrassing when you have a product that's the only thing that's left. I went down the canned meat aisle, and obviously that's one that's going to get hit pretty hard. People will say canned meat is kind of the non-perishable side. We'll buy some Spam or, whatever we're going to get. And there's still a handful of things left over, and you look at them, and they're like the saddest, most disgusting items in the store.
I guess I'll starve.
Like the Manischewitz jar of gefilte fish.
Yes, and people would literally rather die than eat the food. Like if you went in at end times, if this was
zombie
Quiet Place, zombie apocalypse, there would still be a couple of cans of things on the shelves. And you go, man, is that product even? Who are they making this stuff for?
Dasani. This is not your first rodeo, people leaving your stuff on the shelves. Could we maybe fix the recipe a little bit?
They need a rebrand is what Dasani needs because people just hate it.
They need to Domino's themselves.
Yeah.
How about, sorry, finish your sentence. But
no, you go.
Sorry.
No,
Ready?
I'm going.
Go ahead.
You go.
This morning, I go to grab some stuff at 7-Eleven near downtown area, out of gas, got some more water. Then I go to another 7-Eleven, and they have plenty of gas, zero water. Then I call Ace Hardware first thing when they open up, and they go, it's a great day at Ace. We don't have generators or gas tanks. How can I help you? And I go, that's all I needed to know. Looking for a generator. Never mind.
The poor person on that phone.
Man,
oh, God.
All day.
And then I don't know if I'm going to be muting my Ring Neighbors app anytime soon, but it's right on the brink because it's going to start getting annoying. Where do we find water? Where's the gas? And
no more sand.
Then somebody was like, this place has propane tanks and so does DoorDash. And I go, we're DoorDashing the propane tanks now?
Yes, we are.
Yes. If you are able-bodied and DoorDashing propane tanks the day before the hurricane, peak laziness.
It is, but it works. I see a lot of the shoulder shrug grocery shoppers at this time, right before a hurricane. They go in there, and their significant other has given them a list of things that you must have. Our family is going to die without these items at the grocery store. And then they go, and they're too late, and they're gone. So I see this guy walking around with his arms full, like he can't hold anything more in his arms. And he has, because there was no bottles of water, he has 8 tall things of the San Pellegrino sparkling water. That's all.
God.
And he's holding those going.
I could have seen that easily being an option at my house.
You look at him and you go, sparkling water? And he's just,
I found all the empty water bottles that for some reason I've kept, even though I just use one, and have them ready to fill. And then for the first time, use the Peloton water bottles.
Oh, okay.
Except not using the Peloton ever. But maybe during the hurricane times, I can finally get on that bad boy.
Ashley
power that up.
Ashley was only able to scrounge up these random brands that she called them bougie. I don't know that they're necessarily bougie.
Blue Cap is bouge.
Fiji. Yeah, Fiji's the good stuff, man. All of that is Fiji just water.
Fiji, I always thought, because it always turned me off. Fiji says natural artesian water. And for me, I remember when we read in the books that they said the artesian layer was just a fancy word for well. I thought they're just bottling up well water.
In that case, I have a lot of artesian water at my home.
Bad news on my front. I've been saying that word as artisan for 43 years. Am I saying it wrong?
I think those are two different words.
Oh, okay. Because I say artisan water.
I just had that moment with you, my guy.
As if there's some small little space where these people are handcrafting these water bottles for us and making them, per order. Fiji's a good one, though. Courtney calls it Fuji every time. She cannot fix that issue. But you just need to get your stuff, folks. You need to get what you can, and you can rely maybe on neighbors for the stuff that fills in the gaps.
All right, here's your answer from Google. Ready?
All right, here we go.
Artisan and artesian are two different words with different meanings. Artisan is a skilled worker who makes things by hand or using traditional methods. The word comes from the French artitus,
what?
Which comes from the Latin word artire, meaning to instruct in the arts. Artesian is, like I said, a well or aquifer where water rises naturally to the surface due to underground pressure.
The ice nuggets, are those artesian?
Yes,
they can be.
Beautiful.
They're both artesian and artisan.
Yes.
They are both of them at the same time. The one thing we're kind of worried about right now, I got real fear and gross fear. And as you guys know, there's a lot of construction going on across the street. So they just ordered the plywood for the roof of one of the final houses they're building. And it's a big, giant stack of wood that's over there. And it's heavy, so hopefully it won't go anywhere. But it's still, excuse me, a big, giant stack of wood. So I worry about that flying around the neighborhood and around the street. The other thing is, I said, what are they going to do with the porta potty?
Oh, you got poop on your window for sure.
They just took the porta potty and dragged it into the unfinished house in the garage area. So it's still right. Excuse me. It's still right there, right in front of everybody.
Yeah, but did someone put a down payment on that house already?
No.
I'd rather the foundation not have other people's excrements.
Oh, it's going to be everywhere if that thing falls over.
Wait. You don't think somebody's paid for that house already?
Not this one. It's too early in the construction progress. It's
so we
not
can
there
still
yet.
be direct neighbors.
Sure, yeah.
I'm
you could
excited.
snag,
Look at that.
Snag that one up.
Use your Wi-Fi.
All right, let's put our ears to the
You're
ground.
going to need to work on your contract negotiating skills if you want one of those houses.
We're going to put our ears to the ground, our fingers on the pulse. Let's see what's happening in this great, big, wide world of ours. And we go to New Jersey, where Republican New Jersey Senate candidate Curtis Bashaw was doing a debate with his opponent, Democratic opponent. Andy Kim was the name of the guy. Now, I want to see if we can hear this first. I might have to jack up the audio on this, but here's the debate.
That we need to make sure.
No, I got to make it louder. I've got to make it louder so we hear what's going on here. All right, here with us. Pump up the volume. There we are. Now we got him. Let's listen in.
I think that we need to make sure that we are dealing with affordability in a sensible way.
What?
Oh,
he's wobbling. He's wobbling.
Okay.
Oh, no.
His opponent goes over.
Are you okay? Yeah. Okay.
You sure, dude? Oh, you could tell the stare.
Yeah. long stare.
Do you want to?
I think maybe we need to take a commercial break and address some issues here on the stage.
Some
Stay
issues.
with us.
Oh, my God. He still has no idea what's going on.
All of it is so awkward.
Yeah.
He goes, somebody comes up to him and goes, oh, we're going to take a quick break. And they like pat him on the side and they're holding this guy. And he goes, what's that? What's happening?
You okay?
Where am I? What day is it? What time is it? What's going on right now?
By the way, you are lovely as a lamp. Thank you.
Fully glitched out. Absolutely glitched out. That could be nerves, too. That could be just like
It looks
a
like he's about
panic
to
attack.
pass out.
Onset panic attack syndrome hit that guy. So there he is. He's okay, but had some issues in the middle of things.
I'm kind of questioning this woman saying, can we take a commercial break? Because I'm looking at their setup there, and I'm like, commercials?
You guys
Brought to you by
You guys have commercials?
Table Warehouse, where we're going to provide you with one table that looks completely different from the other table.
Can we just switch to a TV station that's currently running commercials? Can we do that?
All of the products are things that are still on the shelves during the hurricane freakouts. All that stuff. Dasani leads the commercial break.
Have you tried Dasani and a microwave omelet maker?
Looking at what's to come here for us in Florida for this lovely storm, Milton, who is headed our way. Now a Category 4 storm. It has indeed lessened in strength over the last 12 hours or so. And Thursday is when things get dicey. Noah Bergeron, who is a good follow over on Twitter throughout this thing, NBERGWX, He shows what we're to expect. This is 8 a.m. on Thursday. 8 a.m. on Thursday, central Orlando with about 28 mile per hour winds. Around that, much more. The Villages will already be seeing 70 mile per hour winds by that time as this makes its way across the state. So that's Thursday morning when we're going to start seeing that. Hold on. These are gusts. Gusts will be up to 95 miles an hour Thursday morning at 10 a.m. So that's pretty significant there. And then you see this is wind gusts here. Also, this is 11 a.m. So a little bit later, I guess. 79 miles per hour. This thing's moving fairly quickly, so it's going to go through the state like a buzzsaw, which is good.
Yesterday was a good little window of panic.
Yeah.
It was like, this has turned from a Cat 3 to Cat 5 in a matter of hours.
So fast.
It is now historically one of the most, the lowest pressure hurricanes, to date. And
it's top 5 in pressure
and
as far as intensity.
It's still doing that, I imagine, right? Still on that list?
Yeah.
But everyone for a moment was just like, okay, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah,
now it's slowed down, fortunately.
Now it has. I've got the latest advisory right here from the Hurricane Center, and they say damaging hurricane-force winds and a life-threatening storm surge with destructive waves are expected across portions of the northern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. That is in Mexico, so it's still going across that peninsula in Mexico. Number 2, they say a large area
Have we
of
heard
destructive...
from Mexico? Are they okay down there? They're just getting drilled?
They must be right along Cancun and stuff.
Yeah.
Right now, that storm is very strong, and it's hitting that. A large area of destructive storm surge, along with the highest areas of 10 feet or greater, is expected along a portion of the west central coast of the Florida Peninsula. If you are in a storm surge warning area, this is an extremely life-threatening situation, and you should evacuate today if ordered by local officials.
You see the clip of the mayor?
Yes, there will likely not be enough time to leave on Wednesday. So they're suggesting that if you're in a storm surge area, you should leave today if your local officials are telling you to do that. If you're in an area where they're expecting 10 feet of storm surge, it's dangerous. It is not wind that kills people for the most part during a hurricane. It is water. People drown during hurricanes, or there's some other issue related to the water that leads to their death most times. So get out is the message. And I think I have what Sabrina was talking about before we finish up this update. This is the mayor of Tampa, Jane Castor, talking on CNN.
Number one message to Tampa residents tonight.
The number one message, as it has been for several days now, is that you need to prepare, do whatever you need to do, and then get out of the evacuation zones, which now are evacuation zone A and B. And as we all have heard so many times now.
Some of this is crazy. Sarasota looking at maybe 15 feet of storm surge. That's
insane.
Picture in your room, wherever you're at right now. Picture, if you're 6 foot tall, put that on the wall, double it up, and then
I'd be at the ceiling.
You go a couple of feet over that, and that's how high of a storm surge we're talking about.
There's parts of it that will be completely underwater.
Sure.
Like that little, what is it, Pinellas County, or the weenus of that Tampa Bay area, that they're saying possibly completely underwater.
Yeah, it could be the case.
Wild.
Yeah, you could have high-rise buildings where the entire first floor is underwater.
And I'm
just
hearing a lot of
completely gone.
that people that are not leaving because they live in an apartment. They're like, well, we'll be up high. And I go, well, you're also not going to be able to leave for days.
Yep.
Until
You're
someone
going
can
to
get
walk
to
your
you.
dog. You're not likely won't have power. You're just going to be going outside and looking at the pool.
Think about a medical emergency in that case.
Yep.
You don't just call 911 and get an ambulance to come to your location. It doesn't happen. That's why they're suggesting Sarasota, Tampa, these areas when you're in, even Fort Myers, in evacuation zones, you should get out of there. And that a lot of people have heeded that. We've seen the roads pretty packed. We'll look into the roads later on today, but here she is.
Hide from the wind and run from the water. And we are talking about right now the possibility of a direct hit with 10 to 12 foot tidal surge. Put that in perspective, Hurricane Helene, which just left the Tampa Bay area a week ago, there was 6 foot storm surge.
Double that.
That was literally devastating to so many. in our coastal area. We have 126 miles of coast just in the city of Tampa. And so people need to be heeding that warning. And from the looks of traffic on all of our northbound highways, they're doing just that.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at yesterday as people were heading out, going to maybe Georgia or somewhere past that, or maybe even south, ducking south. Some folks in the southern portion of where you can hear this show right now, you might be a little bit more in the clear, though you still don't know exactly what's happening. At some point, the Tampa mayor here says, if you stay, you're going to die, basically. I don't know where she gets to that, but I'll give her a little more time.
Yeah, we've seen how jammed up those highways are. I know a lot of the tolls have been suspended to help facilitate people getting out of there. What would you say to people tonight who are saying, you know what, I'm going to ride this out, I've ridden others out? What would you say to people who aren't heeding those evacuation orders?
Well, I can tell you right now that they may have done that in others. There's never been one like this. And this, Helene was a wake-up call. This is literally catastrophic. And I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
There you go. If you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die, says the mayor. Is she being dramatic?
Not
people
really.
are going to die. People are going to die.
There are people that need to hear those words. It's much like the last hurricane when one of the mayors or one of the people said, "All right, if you stay, write your name and somebody's phone number in permanent marker on your body so that they can call your loved ones."
The rest of the NOAA update, number 3, devastating hurricane force winds are expected along portions of the west coast of Florida, where hurricane warning is in effect. Milton is forecast to remain a hurricane as it crosses Florida. There's going to be very strong winds and long-duration power outages. Those are words I do not like. Long-duration power outages. So get ready. And number 4, finally, heavy rainfall across Florida through Thursday brings the risk of life-threatening flash and urban flooding, along with moderate to major river flooding, especially in areas where coastal and inland flooding combine to increase that threat.
Yeah,
so
the people there should be evacuating, especially if you have an electric vehicle. You should be evacuating even earlier. Because
is there something you could do, like if you cannot evacuate with your electric vehicle?
Get it to the highest possible parking garage.
There's no like unplugging. I guess, right?
No, you want to avoid prolonged submersion in water.
Yeah.
Submersion? Is that a...
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Also, I have to sort of correct myself from yesterday.
Oh.
We were looking at some of the traffic cams, and I was raging at the sight of how many people were using the shoulder lane.
Mm-hmm.
In some areas, not only have they removed tolls by order of the governor, but in some areas they've advised people to use the left shoulder lane as a lane of travel and reserve the right one for emergencies.
Really?
But I think that the problem with doing that, I mean, I get that you're trying to get people out,
not everybody knows.
Not everybody knows that the left one is allowed and not the right one. And then they see the people using the left one and they go, oh, we're doing this. Let's use the right one now, too. And it just... I don't know if that causes more problems than it solves.
Yeah, that's tough because there's going to be a lot of people that get angry when they see people doing this. Like, even in a hurricane, we can't come together. And the people driving by will go, well, I've been told to do this. All this confusion just kind of adds to things. So we're going to try to cut through that today and see what we can get out to everybody. We'll have some fun along the way, as we always do, but we want to get you up to speed with what's going on out there. We have a weatherman who broke down on air. We have to talk about that and more of what to expect. That's really important, I think. First, over the next 24 hours and then over the next 48 hours. What does the timeline look like? What's it look like where you're going to be? All that coming up next on the News Junkie.
Smart speakers can't stop you from saying stupid stuff when you're coming out of anesthesia. When I grow up, I want to be a puppy. But they can play Real Radio 104.1 on iHeartRadio. All you got to do is ask.
All lanes are blocked on Fairbanks Avenue westbound between Tuscaloosa Road and Howell Branch Road. Authorities are still working on that accident, affecting all lanes on Severin Boulevard southbound at Bear Lake Road. There's a serious accident causing delays on I-95 northbound between U.S. Highway 1 and Old Dixie Highway there. And on I-4, you could expect your regular delays. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Hey, we know that pro athletes, they train every day to perform better on the field. But what if you could improve your performance in the bedroom? No training required. That's right, I'm talking about Blue Chew. This is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost, which is amazing. Blue Chew's tablets are a performance enhancement for the bedroom, and they can help you gain extra confidence when it's time to perform. You don't have to go to the doctors. You don't have to have any awkward conversations. You just get to try it out for once. And that is even better with the deal that we have for you today. This is the deal for you, listener. Try Blue Chew free. How about that? Free when you use the promo code TNJ at checkout. And then you just pay $5 for shipping, and you could try this out if you've never done it before. That's BlueChew.com. Use the promo code TNJ, and you get your first month free. Find out more at BlueChew.com.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
New South Window lives southern weather, and our products are designed to keep the intense heat out and the cool air in. We prioritize keeping your family and your home comfortable all year round. That's why our energy-efficient windows and doors are made, installed, and guaranteed for life.
For a limited time only, save 35% off on New South Windows and Doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com/radio to learn more.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's all to 321-321.
Racetrack coffee is bean to cup. The fresh ground taste is gonna pick you up. Different choices with lots of flavor.
Yeah, that tracks. Customize your blend, creamers, and toppings to make your coffee a guaranteed hit.
You're making your cup the way you know it should. Racetrack coffee, it's crazy good.
Racetrack, whatever gets you going.
Three best friends diving into the deep end of internet culture. This
We'll see you through everything that's happening with Hurricane Milton. And if you're not in the strike zone, you're just going to kind of go on a ride with us if you don't mind. We hope that all goes well where you are. I was talking to my son, Dylan, making sure he's all prepared, and he's looking at the forecast for West Palm Beach and seeing what's going to happen with the storm. And I'm thinking, what's this guy's preparation list like? What's going on?
Weed.
What's he got on the list? I bet it's very different than mine. Because I'm thinking about, if we have some cheese and crackers, and if we have enough pretzels.
I bet, like father, like son, he's got some beefaroni.
He might have some beefaroni. That'll get him through. And he's focused right now on getting all his stuff, because he recently had a situation where he lost many things in his house, and now he has to replace them. And he learned that he didn't have his own bed or his own sheets or his own pillow or his own clock or anything. So he had to build all of his stuff up at his house. And then right when he's in the middle of this, these two storms start swinging through. And it's not my fault, for the record, just because I said it was a slow hurricane season. I don't have any power over these things. But we will see what's going on with our folks in the Palm Beaches and on the Treasure Coast as well, obviously. It looks a little better for them, but everybody's going to feel something here. If you live in Florida, at least, Rochester, you're good. You're in the clear. Everybody else listening in all these other places, you're in the clear. You're good. But we do have some stuff to look at here. And I wanted to know, for the both of you, Sabrina and C-Lane, have you ever, I think we talked about this before, but let's just revisit it. Have you ever evacuated in your life? Like as a child, did your family ever
every
say
morning, regularly?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more from a hurricane.
I'm trying to think.
Like you were in a place that was mandated, or your parents just said, "We gotta get out of here right now." No, we didn't either.
I feel like when I was living in Fort Myers, possibly, that we evacuated because we were close to the coast. Mm-hmm. But I can't say that with full confidence.
Were you alive during Andrew or no?
I was very young. I think I was 2. But
okay,
we stayed. They hunkered down for that.
It's something about Floridians where there's so many people that will go, it's time to evacuate. Your mayor will say, if you stay, you die. Put the toe tag on you. Write all your information on your arm. And still, Floridians will go, nope, ain't going nowhere. I'm going to stay right where I am right now. That's just something that happens. It's very, very common to hear that. But lots of gridlock out there, I hear, as people are leaving on roads like I-75. People are headed up I-95, which goes all the way up the East Coast. People are coming across Florida on I-4. All these kind of main arteries are helping getting people out of here. And C-Lane said earlier, the left lanes, is this on all Florida interstates, or what's the deal with the left lane thing?
I think it's on a lot of the highways where they're saying the left shoulder lane, because somebody, after I brought that up, said that they saw that same sign on 408, which is not really probably going to be a road that's super bogged down for evacuations. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that. But that signs were saying to use the left shoulder lane as a lane, and then use the right one to save that for emergencies.
Yeah. Okay.
But
so
people
just keep
are going to screw that up.
They absolutely are. Just keep that in mind if you're out there and you're evacuating. And if you are, let us know what's going on. We want to hear what's happening in your world. Send us a dispatch or an email to tips@thenewsjunkie.com. There was one situation where, I don't know if this is it or not, but there's a meteorologist who started crying in the middle of the report, like talking about Milton. And whenever I see that, I go, is this person being genuine? Is this a performative thing? Is this person getting caught up in the moment? Is this person helping? I wonder what happens when you get this emotional getting ready for a catastrophic event. This happens not just with meteorologists and their reports, but also I saw somebody yesterday saying over the next 2 days, Hurricane Milton is going to go from a Category 5 to a Category 4 or a Category 3. And this person was directing, this was somebody in the weather industry. They were directing meteorologists to not make a big deal out of the lessening power of the storm because people will get, they'll get comfortable again and they'll not be scared enough to evacuate or whatever. I hate that. The story is the story is the story. If Milton is a Category 4, like it is right now, it's a Category 4, and you talk about that. If it's a Category 3, you talk about that. If it goes down to a Category 1, you talk about that. But there's this idea that we need to keep people afraid to save their lives. So at all costs, we must ramp up that kind of emotion. Is this the guy? I don't know if this is the dude who cries. Let me hear from this reporter here. This is Jamie Rohn. I don't know if this is the one. This is just an interesting report on this.
Once I see his face, I'll tell you.
All right.
I'll find the clip for you.
Jamie, you mentioned
it's not this guy, right?
Intensification and the speed at which it did that is rare. But what about its path? Just how rare is it that the Tampa Bay area seems to be bracing for impact here?
Right in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, we have to wait to see the full specifics, but we haven't had a storm like this, of this path and intensity, for decades. You really got to go back to all the way to 1921 to find something this close.
Jesus.
And that's our fear. That's our fear here, that so many residents in the Tampa Bay area, including those that have lived there for a long time, might not quite grasp the magnitude of this event.
And the Tampa folks, you were listening in Tampa right now. You're a particular breed, too. There's a lot of people in Tampa that are like, hell no, we ain't getting out of here.
I'll just go inland. And I go, it's not going to be inland anymore. It's going to be underwater.
No, I'll shoot the storm. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. There's some folks over in Tampa who are certainly the type to fight on. This is it you sent to me here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's John Morales.
John Morales. Yes, that's the report I have, too, says John Morales. Okay, let's hear this guy. I guess he got emotional on NBC discussing the storm. Here it is.
It's just an incredible hurricane. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours.
Talk about a passion for meteorology.
I apologize. This is just horrific. Maximum sustained winds are 160 miles per hour.
So he's like struggling to get through telling people, hey, this thing is really strong right now.
He knows how devastating it's going to be. I think about it, like Helene was 200 plus casualties at this point, or fatalities, which I imagine some people saw have not been found. Reported
I
missing.
wouldn't be surprised. A lot of these areas were kind of off the beaten path in the Carolinas.
And I think that opened up a lot of eyes for people. And we saw with the gridlock and parking lots that were the major highways that a majority, I hope, is listening to it. I find it baffling that after seeing the footage and the destruction of Helene, that some people are still going to try to stick it out.
It's just how it is. You know how it goes. Your parents and stuff.
I know. It's just scary, man.
You could talk to somebody that you know and love, and you go, hey, you got to get out of there. They'll go, it's a real pain. It's difficult. It's going to be expensive to get out of here. I totally get it. I totally understand that mindset. If you are going to do that, you need to take all of the precautions that you possibly can. You need to make sure you're setting yourself up for success. And make sure, people know where you are and you're keeping in touch with people as well. If you are going to do that. Otherwise, everybody should just follow the directions of local officials when they're telling you to get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. Tammy says, Watson didn't play the entire few minutes. I'm not going to play the whole clip of the guy. I think you got the gist of it. He was emotional and crying about the strength of the storm. And my only question is, how legit is this? Like, is this guy that emotional that he sees the storm dropping and pressure and starts crying immediately?
Honestly, The thing that stands out for me with this guy is that I do not know what millibars means as it relates to the storm. Is higher bad? Is lower bad? He's like, it's dropped 50 millibars.
That's what I'm saying.
And they were giving the stats last night about how Hurricane Milton is now number 5 in the ranking of most intense hurricanes by millibars, and I go, I know that's very impressive to the meteorologist, but I don't.
Would probably cry too if I knew what. I just figured out what MB was. I would have read it as MB and hope that someone else knows what they're talking about.
The hurricane dropped 50 megabytes.
What?
This is exactly why we have Category 1, Category 2, Category 3, Category 4, Category 5. Because people don't understand these things. But they do understand Category 1, bad. Category 5, real bad. This is also why we don't need Category 6. There's no need for it. I think Americans in general are very scared of a Category 5 hurricane. Yeah. I don't think that people go, Category 5, it's not that bad.
Child's
We're fine.
play.
I think they might stay, like I said earlier, but I think Category 5 is just fine in scaring people. You don't need Mega Category 6 in another layer level.
Category 12.
You don't need that. Category 5 is the scary thing. It's the boogeyman hurricane that nobody wants to be near. I don't know that we need another category ahead of that. So we want to see what you have to say. What's going on with you? These dispatches are trickling in right now, and we'll get to some of those when we come back. Also, we are going to, I think, be joined later on in the show. I got to reach out to her again by the mother of this 20-something-year-old guy who got into an accident. He was a victim in this, was hurt, almost killed in the accident, and now he is facing 35 years to life in jail. And we're searching for the thing that we must be missing in this case and just have not found it yet, even though I've looked through some of the court documents. So I'll reach out to the mother during the break, and we'll set that up probably for, I don't know, a little later on in the show for sure. And Heinz is very sorry. They're apologizing. Why? What went down? That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
This weekend, Real Radio 104.1, smelled on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Cool Today Weather Center, cooltoday.com.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner with your Fox 35 Central Florida forecast. All eyes on Hurricane Milton, set to move through Central Florida late tomorrow night and into the first half of the day Thursday. Out ahead of it for today, look for scattered showers and a few downpours. High temperatures in the lower 80s. For tomorrow, conditions deteriorating after 5 p.m. Hurricane force winds coming in around midnight on Wednesday. But a flood threat is going to be a major problem for our region. Flash flooding ahead.
This report is sponsored by Rasmussen University.
At Rasmussen University, we offer a full suite of nursing programs from pre-licensure to doctoral, online and on campus. Programs vary by campus. Learn more at rasmussen.edu/Florida.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Brought to you by the Capital One Venture Card. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One wants to help you follow your favorite athletes, wherever they're playing. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, and use those miles to visit arenas across the country. Plus, earn unlimited 5 times miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. Your next epic sports trip is closer than you think. The Venture Card from Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Sunnyside Air Conditioning.
Oh, hi. My air conditioner is blowing hot.
For air conditioners making a funny noise, press 1.
No, it's...
Try to listen to the whole message before making a selection.
Sorry.
For air conditioners blowing cold, but not quite cold enough, press 2.
No, it's blowing hot.
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Well, can we speed this up?
Don't get grumpy with me, or I'll take you back to the main menu.
No, anything but that. Please don't send me back to the main menu.
Fine, but I'm watching you.
Bet if I'd called Frank Gay, I'd already be getting my problem solved.
But you didn't call Frank Gay. So, what do we do now?
I'm calling Frank Gay.
When your air conditioner is blowing hot, you need a solution now. A helpful operator to guide you, all your options explained, and your problem fixed fast. That's the Frank Gay way.
If you're ready to pull your hair out, press 7.
Ah! FrankGayServices.com.
Buying a house or selling yours? The Nickley Group makes it as easy as ABC. And 1, 2... Oh, and fast, too, because the Nickley Group can get a guaranteed cash offer on your home today. Just visit thenickleyGroup.com.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main Office, Orlando. Mr. World here. Just watching a scary movie with my eyes covered. Which reminds me, my eyes are also covered by my vision insurance, and I need to hurry to Eyeglass World and use my benefits by the end of the year. You know, before they expire. Like that poor guy.
Use your vision insurance today to buy 1 pair of glasses and get 40% off the second pair at Eyeglass World. Visit eyeglassworld.com to schedule your exam online and for offer details.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
Coming down with something and don't know what it is? Know now at MD Now. Their physician-led team can test for, diagnose, and treat a variety of illnesses. Just walk in or use their convenient web check-in. Visit mdnow.com and get back to better.
This earful of Rail Radio is sponsored by RC Hill Mitsubishi, Highway 1792 in DeLand.
Real Radio is on X at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
The show that takes you from Skywall Summer to Jack Rocket Fall.
On a Share the Show Tuesday. Yes, of course, we're watching Hurricane Milton, currently a Category 4, letting you know everything you need to know ahead of time. We'll get into some updates on that in just a moment. I wanted to mention something here, and I saw this as surprising, but it makes a lot of sense to me. You know what happens this time of year? In fact, you may have already been to a Spirit Halloween store where
Not yet.
Oh, you haven't been? Well, across America, C-Lane, as you know, in October, they take all these empty, rundown places in strip malls. They put up a little orange banner that says Spirit Halloween.
Boom.
And boom.
They pipe and drape the entire thing.
Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, they're selling Halloween stuff. And it's an interesting business model. It just kind of pops up, and then when December comes around, it disappears, or even November comes around, it goes away, and they use this temporary space to be their footprint to sell stuff to people for Halloween.
Why do you think that is the only holiday that a company like that exists for?
Great question.
There's not, I mean, I know, like, all right, at the theme park, they have like Christmas stores that are year-round Christmas stuff. But there's not, and maybe it's because like the Halloween costumes as a physical product are easy to pack a lot into one truck.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe Christmas stuff is bigger, takes up more space, harder to move product. But there's nobody just sets up in an old abandoned store.
Thanksgiving store.
Exactly.
No. Nobody else does this. Spirit Halloween is the place. Even the Christmas tree people, they don't take up a store. They usually just sit in the parking lot somewhere.
Yeah, and the only other thing like this would be fireworks. There are year-round fireworks places. Those are in other states typically. But that's the only business that sets up seasonally and then goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird that Halloween is the thing for that. For Spirit,
well, Spirit Christmas will be replacing Spirit Halloween. Yes.
No way.
Yeah, it's select locations. They're going to keep the Spirit Halloweens around and flip them after Halloween into Spirit Christmas locations. So I imagine you take down the orange sign and you put up like a white one with some, like a snowman and a Christmas tree and all the different stuff you'd expect from Christmas.
Even some of the Halloween
Christmas
decorations, just throw a Santa hat on it, and then it's Christmas.
Sure. Yeah, you can make this happen. They're doing this starting this year in 10 locations, but they hope to turn this into a thing where in the future, all these places pop up. Bam, you got an Insta Spirit Halloween, and then right after that, it just switches over to a Spirit Christmas location, stretching out their occupancy a little bit. I thought that was interesting, and it kind of makes sense. As C-Lane was saying, it's like, why isn't anybody else doing this?
I didn't realize that. If I had heard that before, I probably forgot it. But did you know Spirit was owned by Spencer Gifts?
No, I didn't.
That makes sense.
And my friend said that they make enough money during the Halloween season to float their company the rest of the year.
Isn't that wild? What a business model.
Like a sports bar during football.
Yeah, it's super interesting that they do this, and they're kind of alone in pulling this off. But yeah, they're going to start doing Spirit Christmas stores as a response to all of this. Also, I mentioned this, so we might as well bring this up real quick. There is a controversy, kind of a dumb one, around Heinz ketchup right now because they did an ad campaign, and the ad campaign was, I think it's trying to promote the movie Smile 2, or like,
I'm excited for that one
because they called it the Smiles campaign, and they
I don't remember if I watched the first Smile.
It's scary, man.
Yeah, it was decent. It was kind of fun, but the story is, hang on, I gotta get this to refresh over here on my side. They put this campaign out.
Refresh it already, man.
I did. They put this campaign out, and now I see, okay, there's a woman here who's getting married. She's a black woman in a white wedding dress, and she's surrounded by some other people. And it says, ridiculously good, now in family size. I don't know what the problem for that one is.
It's Heinz pasta sauces, which I don't know if I was aware that they made pasta sauce.
I never tried that. I mean, maybe it's good. I just never have tried that. The story says Heinz has apologized for unintentionally perpetuating negative stereotypes after an advert currently on display sparked a fury online. People were mad, I assure you. The poster depicts an interracial couple and their families sitting at a tabletop on a wedding. It's called Family Portraits. On one side, the newlyweds sits an older black woman who appears to be the bride's mother, while a white couple are sat on the other. Oh, and the bride's father is left out of the picture, so they say that that's racist? Is that what they're going for?
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't it? Who's this other person supposed to be? That's kind of dumb. They're really reaching. It says, believe it or not, black girls have dads too, is one of the posts. And the other one, I wonder if they'll show the one that they said they were mad about. It had this, no, it's not on here. It had this black guy, and he had, you can see it here in this tweet. This is the best I can do for you. I'll zoom in. He has ketchup around his mouth, like, he's eating a burger and the ketchup got everywhere. And they're saying that this looked like blackface.
He's black.
There's a black guy eating ketchup, and the campaign is supposed to be kind of like that Smile or like Joker, referencing Joker. They suggested as well. It's a campaign called Smiles. And unfortunately for Heinz, they published this and they've just had to apologize since the ad campaign came out. I don't know that anybody is genuinely upset by this, though. So much of this stuff is driven by online chatter. It's not even real people.
But if it catches hold, man, then people who, upon themselves seeing it in real life, may have not been bothered by it, but they can jump on a train very quickly.
One weird thing to me is there's been a big push to diversify people that you see in advertisements, and that's been insanely successful. You have a wide variety of people represented, most of them overrepresented in ad campaigns for all sorts of different companies. If you keep nitpicking like this and whining about your crazy, crazy politics and your PC nonsense, you're going to discourage that very thing because they'll go, oh, God, we can't get it right for some of these losers. They just complain about everything. It's just a damn ketchup commercial, for God's sake. We're going to go over to you. Let's see what you got on your mind. We can work in one real quick. Here is Zero Cool talking about Spirit Halloween.
Hey, what's up, junkies?
Hey.
My dad used to go on a fishing trip down to South America every year, and one of the guys who would usually be along on that same trip was the guy that owned those Spirit Halloween stores.
Really?
And the guy would work for 1 or 2 months a year and just make a killing and then just travel around the world fishing and living it up. So anyway, just relevant to the topic. Great show. Stay safe with the storm. Wig, wig, pop, pop.
Thank you, Zero Cool. Appreciate you. Appreciate that dispatch. That's such a strange business model. I love it. And I love that when you go into a Spirit Halloween, they don't have licenses for most of the stuff. So it'll be Austin Powers, but it'll say,
oh, those are my favorite,
crazy 70s guy, or it'll be a Batman costume and it'll say Bat Crusader or whatever the closest they can get. I just pulled
it not too long ago. It was they had Chucky, but it was a bad toy. Mm-hmm. It was a bad toy.
And everything's the same. Overalls, like, comes with a knife with blood on it. Hang on.
Creative, kind of. If you were to ask a computer to describe it, then that's what they are. And I appreciate it. Now, are you saving a bunch of money without having the trademark? That is the big question.
That's how they're operating. That's how they have margins that are probably enormous. Instead of Barbie, it says blonde lady. And instead of G.I. Joe, it says Army Man. And everything is a workaround. And they're pretty clever at pulling that off. Quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the latest that you need to know on Hurricane Milton. Some new updates are rolling in. We got the timeline. I want to lay that timeline out for everybody and go over what you can expect for both tomorrow and Thursday. Those are the important days here. So we'll get to that update. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Storm coverage on Real Radio is brought to you by New South Window Solutions, Florida's only factory direct window company. Their windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers, and they're guaranteed for life. Visit newsouthwindow.com for more information.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center, shop the best quality jewelry and lowest price. goldsmithjewelry.com.
Traveling on I-4 this afternoon, you could expect your regular delays approaching State Road 429, and there's congestion on I-4 near the Lake Buena Vista area. Authorities are clearing up a couple accidents here on Fairbanks Avenue. Near Howell Branch Road, there's an accident on Semorin Boulevard near Bear Lake Road, and the off-ramp is partially blocked from I-95 southbound to I-4. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Direct Auto. Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. With a super low down payment, you can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com. Down payments vary, does not mean savings. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Good news, commercial and SBA loan rates are falling too. Get a quote to refinance your business loan today at thatmortgageguyDon.com.
With that mortgage guy, Don.
Hey, Leesburg, get ready for an evening of fun and excitement this Friday from 5 to 9 p.m. Join us at Town Square for live music featuring the incredible Miguel Larson. But that's not all. Experience the magic of our evening market on 5th Street. Browse unique finds and tasty treats. Grab a drink, ice cream, or savory snack from one of our downtown establishments as you stroll and discover Leesburg. Mark your calendars for this Friday. Discover Leesburg. Go to Leesburg Special Events on Facebook for more info.
Save time and money with the aluminum fence in a box from Fence Outlet. It comes with everything you need for an average backyard of 120 feet starting at $23.65. Go to fenceoutlet.com today for more information and store locations. License number C10252 and C10803.
We all think about buying a house instead of renting, right? But did you ever realize you're renting your electricity every single month? Yep, overpaying the power company and watching prices rise every year. This year alone, prices have jumped over 10%. Isn't it time you own your own power with Solar Source? I started with my pool heater going solar, and now I'm thrilled with Solar Source's pay-as-you-go system where I can save each month starting at only $99. Now, Solar Source isn't new to this game. They've been in business for nearly 40 years with the same phone number since 1984 and over 60,000 installations right here in Central Florida. They are the company I trust. Are you ready to stop renting your electricity? Switch to Solar Source today and start owning your own power. Switch to Solar Source today by going to solarsource.com/monster. Honestly, going Solar Source has been the best thing we've done all year. I absolutely love the company, and you save more money when you tell them you know Russ Rollins. That's solarsource.com/monsters.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Join the Monsters in the Morning live broadcast from Touchstar Cinemas for the red carpet premiere of Daisy Del Toro's new movie, Melt on This Music. Friday, October the 18th, starting at 6 a.m. 2 chances for you to be one of the first people to catch the new film, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Get your tickets now at realradiomonsters.com. General admission and VIP packages available starting at just $15. Oh, I almost forgot. Tequila Del Toro and Triple R blended whiskey specials sold at the bar. The red carpet premiere of Daisy Del Toro's new movie, Melt on This Music, Friday, October 18th, starting at 6 a.m. All the information and tickets are available at realradiomonsters.com.
We've all made questionable decisions in life, like that time that you frosted the tips of your hair. But hiring an attorney shouldn't be. I'm Orlando attorney Mo DeWitt, and we offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all injury cases. If you are not completely satisfied with the way we treat you in your case within the first 30 days, you can take your file back and you owe us nothing. No fees, no costs, and no questions asked. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit justcallmo.com.
Heard of the job? Dial pound 529 on your cell. Pound law, that's all.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman & Lind Studios. Why Kaufman & Lind? Because clients and character matter. Contact them at whenyounneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Three best friends diving into the deep end of internet culture.
Remains open at thenewsjunkie.com for any stragglers, and we're going to pause until the hurricane goes by. We will then fulfill them, and I'll ship them all out next week. Thank you for your patience. Milton, timelines. That's what people are looking for. Timelines and everything else that we need to know about this storm. So while I got you for a minute, let's look into some of that. One thing the timeline shows us is that today is fine. We're all right. We got a lot of warnings. I don't know if you guys had this yesterday, but Courtney and I are sitting in the living room. We're getting ready to go. And all of a sudden, bang, bang, your phone just goes ape-s with that forced alert of a hurricane.
I didn't get it.
You didn't?
I didn't either.
I was amongst a bunch of people who it looked like Androids got it first and then everyone else, but I was the only one who did not get it.
Screaming loud, too. And my phone was on vibrate. And it just
what's going to happen if some stuff really goes down? Am I not going to get the Amber Alert or the alert?
It overrides everything. Everything on your phone is overridden because mine is on silent. I'm just chilling and bang, start screaming in the living room. And I go, well, I'm aware there's a storm coming. But today is when you're supposed to complete your preps, and all the warnings are out there. So heed those and heed these evacuations. If you're in Sarasota or Tampa, don't screw around with this stuff. I know there's people who overhype it, but it's also very, very, very true that there's a big storm surge coming. And the latest on Hurricane Milton was that the storm is actually intensifying once again. So the eye wall was perfect in a bad way. It was about the size of like a pinhole. The eye wall was. Here's how I can explain this to you best, I think. Mm-hmm. The hurricane hunters, let's say they're flying through Hurricane Milton. Mm-hmm. All right, they're flying through Hurricane Milton. It's hundreds and hundreds of miles on either side of the storm. So they are going for a very long time, and then they hit the eye of Hurricane Milton. And the eye is only about 4 minutes or so. I'm sorry, 30 seconds. It was only 30 seconds that they were in the eye. It's about 4 miles wide, or it was before it broke down. So they're flying forever. And then for 30 seconds, they would get through the eye of the storm and then back into the other side of Milton because the eye was so tightly, just like a pinhole size, in this huge, powerful storm. That got a little bit bigger, and the storm got wider, and it started to weaken down. That's why I went to a Category 4. But it's strengthening back up, and you need to know that that's a thing. Maybe this doesn't die down as much as they were suggesting it was going to. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does quite a bit. But we don't know. We don't know if this is going to wobble one direction or another. But Wednesday, tomorrow is when the weather is supposed to get worse. Things are going to worsen tomorrow weather-wise. The winds will start to pick up. You will start to see storms and lightning and more severe weather work into your area if you're anywhere in central or southern Florida, southeastern Florida included. On Thursday, from Wednesday to Thursday, things are rough. And then you get the storm mostly in the late hours. Another night storm for us here. It seemed to be, that's the thing to do for these hurricanes now, is come through in the middle of the night. And then during the day, it'll still be pretty rough on Thursday as it exits out over the state of Florida. And C-Lane's timeline for his California wine adventure is looking fairly tight, but possible perhaps. Have you got any updates from the airline?
Nothing yet. It seems like what this is going to come down to is if the planes get there. Mm-hmm. And if the flight attendants and the crew and all the staff are going to be in place,
right?
Like the time that I was supposed to go to New York and that flight got canceled for weather. I think it was something where it was like it was fine, like the time that we would have been taking off, but it was all the things that would lead up to the plane being in Orlando to leave, that kind of broke down. And so that's what I need not to happen.
They would have to station the planes ahead of time in these areas. Otherwise, when it becomes free to fly, then you have to wait to get all the people in place. And so that might be tough. And yours is early on Friday, right? It's pretty early morning. So maybe
it's a 7 a.m. flight.
Damn.
But here's the thing, though. We're flying to Atlanta, which is the Delta hub. And I've looked, and there are other options if we have to take a later flight. We don't want to because we want to be able to maximize our time.
Yeah, get your wine on.
We rented a convertible, man. We got to get out there, drive out to wine country with the top down, you know. And but there are other options. I was talking to Amy Kaufelt. She's also flying out the same day. She's flying somewhere different, and her options for rescheduling are not as great because she's going to a smaller airport. You know, the connection is not as, you know, hub-like as the one that we're going through. So I hope for her sake that she's able to get out there for that too.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see. Again, it was just a wait-and-see kind of thing for the next 48 hours. And all the runs that I'm seeing on this have this coming in somewhere close to the Tampa area, and all the models seem to be in agreement, which I hate. I always wish there's just like one or two that go off to the side and, hey, it's just going to sputter out in the Gulf and nobody gets hurt. That's not going to be the case here. Oh, I think they did the simulation again. I love when they do this. The technology is so crazy. When they do these simulations of storm surges, let's see if this is another one of those here.
Green screen room.
Yeah. Let's see if that's here.
Let's talk more about that surge that Jim was mentioning because the National Hurricane Center is warning that destructive storm surge will occur along parts of Florida's west coast tomorrow, and that's where we find
it's so good.
Like a cartoon.
They stretch from the Everglades to
She looks like she's inside an Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah, she's in this room where there's a 360 wraparound around her that makes it look like she's in a neighborhood. And then I think they can simulate, hey, here's how much the water would go up if the storm brought this much.
So notice the potential for surge on the east coast of Florida, including Georgia and South Carolina, too. You will see surge outside the cone, but the highest is expected in Tampa and Sarasota. But look at that, Naples, we could get 4 to 7 feet there.
No.
Let's focus in on the Tampa Bay area where we could see a record-setting surge over 9 feet. And I can use this simulation.
There we go.
Yeah, buddy. Like Tampa. At 3 feet above normally dry ground, water is already life-threatening. It's too late.
Cars already
This is insane.
It's so cool. I'm going to put this up on See It Now.
Shot up.
Since it's a visual, let me snap this up on the See It Now section over at thenewsjunkie.com.
We're going to get one of those screens. Do you see
Grab
how
a
our thing
screenshot.
just disappeared?
Yeah. How much is that? What kind of budget
cool
we need
would
for
that
that?
be?
So they show 3 feet. Cars are already halfway underwater, and probably you can't drive at that point in this neighborhood. That's only 3 feet.
Knock you off your feet, make cars float, and driving impossible. The first floor of homes and businesses are flooded. Unfortunately, the water is expected to rise even higher at 6 feet above.
How cool that she pulls it up with her arms. She pulls
Lady
her
Noah,
arms up.
or Moses. Which one did it?
Let's bring this to 4 feet or 5 feet. She brings the water.
Most people, vehicles get carried away. Structures start to fail. Just look at this. Anything could be in this water. Sharp glass, debris, chemicals as well.
A jet ski.
The scary part is some areas could see surge values at 10 to 15.
Oh, my God, really?
This takes us up to 9, and look what it does. At this level, the first floors of structures are completely flooded, and there are few places that it is safe when the water rises this high. We want everyone to know their evacuation zone, listen to local officials, and evacuate when ordered to do so.
Look at
That is crazy. All right, we're going to put this up on See It Now so everybody can take a peek at this because it's pretty incredible.
That's scary,
in fact,
dude.
I'll do that now while I'm talking so you don't yell at me for doing TV on a radio
screen.
show.
I want that
was
whole
cool.
room.
Like-
I want one of that whole
What are
room.
they using it for when it's not hurricanes? Think about the fun we could have.
I would be doing that every day for no reason at all.
Oh,
Hey, Courtney would be talking to me.
absolutely.
She'd be like, "What do you want for dinner?" I'd be like, "It depends on how high the flood water
Pierogies,
is."
the size of a human.
Should we have sandwiches?
We're going to have 6 feet of chicken noodle soup.
Oh, I'll be there a little late to dinner because I'm riding an elephant. That's on
It's
fire.
So cool. In a bad way.
Yeah, it's also terrifying what she just showed.
There we go. Now it's up on See It Now at thenewsjunkie.com. Take a moment of your time and take a look at that. This is from, this is Flying by Milton in Space, I guess. This is time-lapse. Flying over Milton in space. Very, very large storm. Very, very tight eye. This was from earlier on in this morning. Just cruising through up there. Really nice place to be in space when a storm like this is unleashing hell on everybody else down below. Hurricane Milton. That's the latest there. So things look a little bit rough, but we're going to keep our eyes on this and keep the coverage going. Make sure you know what's happening and make sure you're prepared. We were talking earlier about the grocery stores. There's been a lot of people who have gone to the grocery stores. It's a lot of shelves that are empty, but they're doing a very good job, I think, of keeping stuff in stock, at least as far as I've seen so far.
The good news for people trying to get out is that the traffic looks good.
That's not bad at all.
This is I-4 eastbound, leaving the Tampa area, and everything seems to be up to speed. So
look at all these people taking advantage of being able to use the emergency lane. They're like, yeah, forget it. Why not?
Yeah, it's
You're supposed to use it.
Funny. It's not needed in this situation, but they're still using it.
It is pretty surprising that it's not more busy than that, but maybe the biggest portion of people got out yesterday. Maybe they evacuated earlier, so it's not so bad just yet.
Here's the Howard Franklin Bridge.
Okay.
That's in and out of St. Pete.
When
Not
it's
bad at all.
mandatory evacuations, are they going to find like officials going door to door, like you've got to go now, or it's we say mandatory and we hope you listen?
I think that's what it is. I believe that's the case, and we could check in on that, but I don't think that they go around and enforce that you leave. I think that they say this is a mandatory evacuation, and if you're back, do not expect that anybody's going to be able to help you. Do not expect any kind of services to be rendered if you're injured. Don't expect us to come get you if you're drowning. You're in a place where you weren't supposed to be. Mandatory evacuation. And that is something. But we got a big storm on the way here. And we need to know, is this going to be a 4 or 5 or a 1, 2, maybe 3 in terms of the category of storm that Milton is? We probably will know almost exactly what's going to happen tomorrow, would be my guess. I think that they'll have a very accurate forecast, and that's when we'll be able to tell you, hey, definitely at this time you're looking at this, definitely at this time you're looking at this. I think I'm taking that gate off the fence. I think I'm going to go out there and take that off because I can't live with myself if that all of a sudden smashes through a bunch of stuff.
Hits a porta potty.
Hits the porta potty, knocks it down, knocks everything all over the place.
I wonder where the peacocks are going to go.
I don't know. I don't know what they do with that. When there's animals in neighborhoods, does somebody go around and get them, or are peacocks on their own when
I don't know about the neighborhoods. I know that, like, for the parks, like Lake Eola Park, there will be somebody that would round up all the swans, I think.
Really?
I think they stay in that little house in Lake Eola.
Lock them in there?
A lot of swans to put in that house.
Sure is, but I've witnessed it one time, and they scooted them into an actual house.
Let's go over to a couple of dispatches real quick. We got a moment to do this. So here's Mommy Salami joining the show.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to let you know that I'm a podcast listener, and I've complained in the past about the skipping. I just today switched over to the Apple podcast app as a way of listening to your show, and I have not had any issues with it skipping because I've just downloaded it through there.
Excellent.
I'm not using the iHeart.
Well, we definitely want you to use the iHeart app. The iHeart app is great and fantastic. But downloading is usually the solution there. John the Exterminator's mad, I think, at the EMS.
So Hurricane Milton's on his way. Yes, we all know. If I could stop getting 1,000 notifications from the emergency broadcast system that there's a hurricane on its way. We know. We know.
Now's a good time to say something here. Now's a good time to say to John the Exterminator and very, very, very large portions of our listening audience who are smart, educated people who get the message and then at some point go, oh my God, enough is enough. Some of this stuff is not meant for you. What? It's meant for really dumb people. And although sometimes I think it's a bad idea, we decide to save the dumb people too. So you are smart enough to understand, okay, I get it. I know what's going on. I know how to take care of my family. I know how to take care of my property. I know how to do that. Some people will be, there's dummies who on Wednesday night will go, well, what the hell is happening outside? Why'd it get windy all of a sudden? You're going to see people who absolutely are so disconnected and so clueless that they don't pay attention. So they try to hit you over the head with a hammer and make sure that it's impossible not to know.
Also, you're going to hear those alerts a lot more frequently as the storm approaches.
Oh, they're going to keep hitting us with them?
Oh, yeah.
What if you have... Courtney had on her phone emergency alerts turned off, and she still got it. She still got that alert. So I don't even think you can do anything about this. If your phone is on, it goes through, unless you're Sabrina, I guess, or unless you have certain maybe providers, carriers.
I don't know why I didn't get it.
It's very strange how that works because, like I said, my phone was on silent, and it was an audible warning that went through. And Courtney's phone had the emergency alerts off. Still went through, whether you like it or not. They're sending those notifications to you.
I always wonder, and I wonder if anybody's ever gotten video of this, like if something like that were to happen during church, like during the time where everybody's phones are, the silent. You make sure it's silent because the last thing you want to be is that person in church that's letting their phone go off. But if everybody, they all have their alerts go off at once, that'd be crazy.
Nobody to blame for that. One more. Here's
we know who's to blame.
Here's a dispatch about getting ready for the storm.
So after I acquired everything I needed for proper hurricane preparedness, I ran out and got fun stuff like a big bottle of bourbon, and I got some snack pack puddings. When I came home, my wife was disappointed that I got pudding and didn't get cookies, which has now launched a debate between her and I, as well as all of our friends and associates, between cookies versus pudding. So I ask you, the News Junkie cast and the people of Central Florida, what is your ideal hurricane preparedness snack if you had to pick cookies or pudding?
God, that's all I guess. The only choices I get, cookies or pudding. There's a huge question here. You said snack pack, sir, but you just said cookies, and that is very generic. You could be talking about them dusty-ass grandma cookies that are so dry that I wouldn't even want them in my house.
Yeah, no thanks.
Or you could be talking about
Oreos, Chips
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
Oreos, or some Chewies.
The sugar cookies that kind of melt in your mouth.
Something good like that is a yes. But some cookies, if they're too dry, I know I said grandma cookies, but there's a brand, I think, called Grandma Cookies. They have them at 7-Elevens. It's got like an old lady on it. They're big. Those ones are not so bad, actually. Depends on what type of cookie it is, I would guess, but we'll open it to the dispatchers.
Speaking of supplies, my friend on Facebook, he was like throwing it out there because he's like, I got a spare bedroom. My wife's out of town. Come hang out. We drink during the storms here. I have a generator and scotch, like sounded like a badass. And his wife commented, yeah, don't forget the 12-pack of Berry Trulies you asked me to get, too.
Tough guy. I'll take him down a peg. When we come back, we'll get to more of your comments. And the largest cyber attack is underway right now on a utility that could have an impact on you. What's being cyber attacked? We'll talk about that. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is the Jim Colbert Show. He's got a pretty mouth.
Ease up, Dan. What are you doing?
The Jim Colbert Show. Weekdays at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Authorities have moved that accident off to the shoulder, but there's still delays southbound on Florida's Turnpike approaching the east-west expressway there. There's an accident on Fairbanks Avenue near Howell Branch Road causing a bit of delays. All lanes are blocked on Forest City Road eastbound at I-4 due to an accident. Just travel with caution on the roadways. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Norton 360.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Boost your password security with Norton 360. Weak passwords can be targets. That's why Password Manager is included in Norton 360 to help keep you safe. Get comprehensive protection and up to 58% off at norton.com/secure.
Good news for my business-owning friends. That mortgage guy, Don, also does commercial and small business administration loans. If you have an existing SBA loan with a rate of 9% or more, then you are in luck. That mortgage guy, Dawn, can refinance your qualified high-interest SBA loan to a low fixed rate of 8.25%. Don't leave money on the table. Let that mortgage guy, Dawn, help you get the money off the table and back in your hands where it belongs. Get a quote with no hard credit inquiry by going to thatmortgageguydon.com.
Don't miss the boat. Compare your quote with thatmortgageguydon.com.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product and don't know what to do next? Inventors, InventHelp can help you get started with your idea. Call 1-800-INVENTION or go to inventhelp.com to get your free inventors information. They can help you try to patent your idea and submit it to companies. Get started with your idea today at inventhelp.com. InventHelp is the leading invention service company. With offices nationwide, they've been helping inventors since 1984. Inventors receive more than 10,000 patents through their patent referral services. Don't wait to get started with your idea. For free information, contact your friends at InventHelp. Go to inventhelp.com or call 1-800-INVENTION. That's inventhelp.com or call 1-800-INVENTION. They help everyday inventors just like you. Additional services include invention websites, prototype models, technical drawings, and more. They keep your idea confidential and explain every step of their invention services. Remember, that's inventhelp.com. inventhelp.com.
Splish Splash, Central Florida. RC Hill here from RC Hill Mitsubishi. If you're going off the deep end on a car you hate, bring it to me, and I'll give you up to $5,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value, like the brand new 2024 Outlander. $1 down, $399 a month, including taxes and fees, and save up to $8,500. You can check out the 2024 Mirage, 43 miles per gallon, lifetime warranty. I'm RC Hill. I'm your car dealer next door. Visit me at rchill.com. That's rchill.com.
Visit rchill.com for details.
How long have you been thinking about going solar? With power bills soaring higher and higher than ever, it's time to think about what you can save instead of what you're spending. Each year you wait, you could be losing thousands. This year alone, prices have jumped over 10%. Isn't it time you own your own power or solar source? With over 40 years in business, Solar Source has over 60,000 installations right here in Central Florida. They've had the same phone number since 1984. It's no wonder this company is the one I trust. I started with a pool heater solar, and now I'm thrilled that Solar Source has a pay-as-you-go system. I can save monthly, and it starts at $99. That's solarsource.com/monsters.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Premier Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Premier Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Premier Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 407-337-5569. 407-337-5569. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 407-337-5569.
Brought to you by the Capital One Venture X card. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One wants to bring you closer to the athletes you love. Literally, with premium travel benefits from the Capital One Venture X card. With Venture X, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when booking on Capital One Travel and access to airport lounges worldwide. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Fence outlet customer Jason said,
I had a nightmare with my last fence company. They installed my fence in my neighbor's yard and didn't get the required permit. No one would fix it, so I had to replace the entire side. I turned to Fence Outlet, who not only found my property pins, but also followed all the guidelines. My new fence looks great. With 30 years of experience, they stand by their work.
For a free estimate, visit fenceoutlet.com. License number C-10252 and C-10803. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Promo code CLAY.
Think orange for your next vehicle. OrangeBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Send him your tips and your deepest, darkest secrets. Email tips at the...
Crack into is some of the myths that people believe before hurricanes they should be doing. And we've all fallen victim to some of these, I think. So we'll dive into those. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com, and JT emails the show. JT says, Sean, spelled S-E-A-N, you son of a bitch. Scene. I vaguely remember hearing that you should crack a window or two during a hurricane to prevent pressure issues inside your house. Is that accurate? Maybe something to check for your audience. Thanks. Be safe, JT. Let's give that a search and see if you're actually supposed to crack a window or two during the hurricane.
Back in the day.
It says, no, you should not open windows during a hurricane is the first line. Hurricane winds can cause dangerous projectiles like rocks and roof tiles. Internal pressurization. Opening windows can allow wind to enter your home, which can create internal pressurization and put your home at risk of damage. Yeah. Taping windows does not make them stronger. It can make the shattered pieces bigger and even more dangerous.
Despite the fact that I did that as a child.
Placebo effect. It made you feel safer for that moment. The first thing that came up for me, there's a whole website dedicated to hurricane myths in Florida, but I like the way that they put it. False. Not only will leaving your windows open be dangerous, but it'll also get the inside of your home wet.
Oh, yeah, that's a true side effect. Yes,
I did not know that.
The funny thing about the myth of putting an X in tape on your windows is, as a kid, I remember before a couple of hurricanes, I'd walk down the street and I'd be like, what are these neighbors? Idiots? There's no X's on their windows. These people are not, you're not going to survive the hurricane.
Now, if you saw your neighbors doing that, you'd be like, what are these neighbors? Idiots? There's X's on their windows. Have you guys seen any neighbors doing it?
No, I did see a full shutter job, like planks of wood over each of the windows.
Damn.
Not really close to water, but I guess.
That's an
I just don't
undertaking.
want debris. You know what I saw got all shuttered up yesterday?
What's that?
My local ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
What?
Did they?
They have metal shutters over all their windows. And, you know, now that I think about this that could be because they're trying to avoid like a looting situation.
Yeah, that could be. They're looking at this in case the storm gets so bad that people are out there busting windows and stealing stuff. I know I have a 7-Eleven somewhere near me. I will never tell you where, but somewhere near me I have a 7-Eleven.
That
and
narrows
they
it down.
Stay open during the hurricanes.
I think that's a bad move.
In the past, they've just stayed open. The place in the middle of the last one, you could have gone over there and grabbed yourself a Prime in the middle of the storm if you wanted to.
A Prime?
Prime. That's what the kids drink, Sealand. You got to try to keep up, man.
gosh.
You got a son,
What is
for
that,
God's
energy
sake.
drink?
It's a beverage of choice for athletes and kids who.
So
stay
who
on the
told
internet too
you
much.
about it?
My crew, my people. We talk about
He's
these
doing
sorts of
the
things.
We
10K,
are your
remember?
crew. You have no crew but us.
I got some other crew
Scott
people.
and Ashley visit once a year. That's it.
There are others. I don't bring them on your radar because I don't want you guys to meet them.
Oh, he's got
Secret.
the friend, Larry Prime, is new in his life.
Yep, we talk all about Prime.
Met him through mayo and ketchup and hamburger.
Actually, I don't like Prime. It's gross. It feels like it's made for a 7-year-old kid because it's made for a 7-year-old kid. And it's all the flavors are like when you drink them, you recoil from the aggressiveness.
Strawberry punch, frost jam.
But I've talked about this before, but the Moss stuff, which is by that soccer player dude, is so good. I love it so
What
much.
are you doing after you drink it? Are you going for a run?
No,
You're
I just
sitting
drink it.
still?
I like fruit juice. I get cravings for fruit juice sometimes. And I want to have
Before or after
something
your nappy?
It's after the nappy usually. Or right in the morning when I wake up and my breath is like, and I want something to just quench my thirst. Almost always I drink water, but sometimes I'll sneak one of those Mosses in. And I saw yesterday what's happening in the world. We're checking out at the grocery store. Let me get this up on my phone just so I can make sure I'm not exaggerating. Because I did not post this online.
I'm just reading through this thread about what to do with your windows, and somebody said deliberately leaving the window cracked would almost ensure that it would get blown out, and that makes sense. If you're giving the wind a little bit to work with, it might, and then once that happens, now the wind would have leverage to take your roof off too, because the inside of your house is not mitigated for wind. And then down here, somebody had a little bit of a typo. And he says, holy crap, worst typo ever. Said, it is, we don't tape windows anymore. We either board them or install shields or shutters. But right next to the T is the R on the keyboard. And so he typed, we don't rape windows anymore.
Back to the drawing board.
As we were checking out at the grocery store yesterday, and there's all these people getting their hurricane stuff everywhere, freaking out. I look, and they said, in the little thing, you know where during checkout there's a little cooler and you could get sodas and water bottles and stuff in there? The sodas, for just one, was $2.59. And I said, what has happened to the world of sodas?
Inflation, man.
One soda is $1 or $2.59 now? That seemed really high to me. It does say 20 ounce, though. That's not a regular can, is it? Is 20 ounces seems too high for a regular can.
That's your handheld bottle?
No, a can is 12 to 16, right?
Yeah, I think
How much
I think
is a Prime?
This is like a tall boy. Prime is not in here, but they're expensive. Those stupid things are so expensive. The Moss, the thing I was telling you about, they're $3 a piece or something for some fruit juicy thing. It's ridiculous. Can't do it. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. Nathan emails the show, and Nathan says this, and I think this is an important thing to address real quick. He says, hurricane curfew, ? 2 parts. I just drove by a place called Congo River, and there was a bunch of people playing mini golf. Why? And has there been any mention of a curfew Wednesday or Thursday? I have not heard any mention of a curfew just yet, number one.
I've heard talk of curfews. One of the sheriffs was saying he was going to fine people $500 for being
Lucia County.
Okay, see, let's bring those up. If we could bring those up, it would be good to get that information out there to people.
Also, did you see the video I sent to the chat of St. Pete last night?
Yes. Was that in? Like all debris that you could see there alongside the homes from the
so you
previous
didn't hear
storm?
the audio?
No, I didn't turn the audio on.
It's very Purge-like, where it's like the cop is talking through the speaker, like, "This is your chance to leave. We recommend that you do it, and it's very scary sounding." And they just loudspeaker throughout the entire neighborhood.
All right, we'll play that in a bit here. We'll play that a little bit after the top of the hour. But the other part of your email where you said you drove by Congo River and there was a bunch of people playing mini golf. That's fine.
The storm's not here yet.
Yeah, people can do normal things today. Some people are off to work and all sorts of other things.
Russ was trying to go see Batman or the Joker.
Right, yeah. It's okay. Everybody's allowed to exist and do things. Now, if they're at Congo River playing mini golf in the middle of Hurricane Milton, maybe that's a problem.
Unless they get a hole-in-one, then that's impressive.
I don't think it's a big deal that they're out there just existing right now. When we come back, the next episode with Sabrina, what's coming up on the next episode?
So glad you asked. What's coming up on the next episode? Tony Busby is still buzzing about his Diddy clients, and his latest buzzload be some A-list bribery. Haha, yeah. Cardi B got her very own WAP, you guys. A widow-ass pussycat. Wait for it. And also, Sissy is now Sissy walking in the sky. All that and so much more coming up on the next episode.
I will get to that cyber attack thing. We will get to this interview that we've been talking about. We will get to the audio that Sabrina just mentioned. We have so many things. We'll get to all of that. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio at 7, it's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by MyEternalVitality.com and Modern Plumbing Industries. At 9 p.m., it's Real Laughs with comedians James McGill and Ken. And Real Music starts tonight at 10 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Cool Today Weather Center, cooltoday.com.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner with your Fox 35 Central Florida forecast. We're tracking Hurricane Milton in the open Gulf of Mexico, set to make landfall in Tampa tomorrow evening and bring hurricane conditions to our region of Central Florida late tomorrow night into Thursday morning. For today, Look for clouds, showers, highs in the low 80s. The weather deteriorates, though, after 5 p.m. tomorrow evening. That's when we'll be tracking the hurricane impacts and the flash flooding around Central Florida.
This report is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, every day is game day. Get an expert oil change from our team in about 15 minutes. We're quick, but never rushed. Drive into any of our locations today. No appointment needed. Visit VIOC.com for up to $15 off your next oil change.
We've all made questionable decisions in life, like that time that you frosted the tips of your hair. But hiring an attorney shouldn't be. I'm Orlando attorney Mo DeWitt, and we offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all injury cases. If you are not completely satisfied with the way we treat you in your case within the first 30 days, you can take your file back and you owe us nothing. No fees, no costs, and no questions asked. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit justcallmo.com.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
In Office Orlando.
Frank Gay Services has something cool for you. Keep your AC running smoothly with our expert service. Experienced, professional, friendly, and speedy care that earned us thousands of 5-star reviews. That's the Frank Gay way. Visit frankgayservices.com or call for details.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Make that switch to City Kia.
City Kia presents its largest Rocktober sales event ever. Rocktober. Save up to $10,000 on new City Kias. Upside down on your trade, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000. City Kia to the rescue. Financing as low as 0% and payments as low as $89 a month on select models and terms. Rocktober. Hurry, it's City Kia's largest Rocktober sales event ever. Visit us at citykia.com.
Make that switch to City Kia.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 104.1.
Join the show. Send your dispatch now at thenewsjunkie.com.
In the world of entertainment and beyond. Don't forget, friends, we will be with you over the next several days. In fact, tomorrow we're going to have extended coverage for Hurricane Milton. So make sure you stay with us right here on the station. We're going to get into the next episode, but I also want to tell you, if you miss anything, you can always subscribe to the podcast for free dollars and free cents over at thenewsjunkie.com. Go over there. You'll see all the links, iHeartRadio, everything else you need, and then you can be all in the loop with what's happening here on the show. Let's get into it. Let's do the next episode.
Because there's a lot on TV, you can't possibly keep up with all of it, even though you should, because what else are you going to talk about?
I guess I got to stop masturbating at McDonald's now.
Nothing. Weather's nice. It's time for the next episode with Sabrina.
Hey, smoke weed every day.
Hold Up. The next episode brought to you by That Mortgage Guy Don. You can find him at thatmortgageguydawn.com. Listen to the Home Loans Radio Show, typically every weekend. Maybe this weekend is changing things up, but he's always available via his website, thatmortgageguydawn.com. Perhaps you're going to need some advice when it comes to refinancing or buying your first dream home, debt consolidation, reverse mortgages, and everything in between. Go to thatmortgageguydawn.com to get the process started.
Don't miss the book, compare your quote with thatmortgageguydawn.com.
That's hot.
What?
You were doing the Paris Hilton thing, the breathy.
That Mortgage Guy Don. Also super hot 20 years ago, 2004. This guy right here had this moment right here.
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
Bush!
Internets.
Internets is right. And here is my very quick flip of a royalty-free Internets remix.
Internets.
That's pretty much it. 2004, George W. Bush coined the phrase the internets. It was in response to a question about the draft during the second presidential debate with John Kerry.
Internets.
So here we are in the real world, and someone who can't use the internets anymore is this gal's mom.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston's mom, Sissy Houston, Grammy-winning gospel singer and mother of Whitney, has passed away at the age of 91.
Damn.
That's a long life, if you ask me. She is a two-time Grammy-winning soul and gospel artist. I just recently watched the biopic of Whitney Houston, in which I got to really see what Sissy was like. Also, she was played by the medical examiner from Law & Order SVU, so I felt like I was at home watching her. She died Monday morning in her New Jersey home while under hospice care for Alzheimer's disease. Her daughter-in-law, Pat Houston, told the Associated Press, surrounded by her family and now surrounded by angels. I did print out 5 more pages of fun facts about Sissy Houston, but unfortunately, I don't have time for that. So if you
Did she seem like she was a good mom in the thing that you watched, or was she bad? Or
I would say that there was some moments in which you'd be like, all right, that's a lot of pushing for the limelight. But then she looked out for her. I don't think that Clive
Baker?
Davis would have discovered her if it was not for her mom saying, all of a sudden, my throat hurts. You have to go out there and sing the song. And that's when Clive had discovered her. So
what a voice, too, man.
Good mom move for sure. So may she rest in peace. Now she's Whitney.
What if her throat didn't hurt at all? She was just like...
No, that's exactly what it was.
Oh, okay.
She realized that Clive was in the audience, and she's like, I can't do it. I can't sing. I've come down with something. You have to sing.
It's the black lung.
Because she's
that's
black?
racist.
No.
Someone who's also dead is this guy right here.
Chris Christopherson.
That is correct. And
nice.
What a fun little trend we have every time someone dies, and that's their streams going up significantly. They say since he passed away September 28th, the world has been shooketh, but also sending their love via ears. Since then, he has had a total of 79,000 streams as far as the uptick. And after his passing, that went up 1.9 million streams.
Oh, okay.
It started at 79,000. Now it's at 1.9 million and counting.
Damn.
If I'm doing my math right in my head and not reading this at all, it's 2,292% of an increase. Who does that go to? Isn't that wild? I can go on.
Whoever owns the rights, I guess, to the music.
Guess which song?
He doesn't seem like somebody who would have sold all that a while back. Like all the trend is
I've
going.
never heard that song in my entire life.
Sunday morning coming down?
Yeah,
Jinx?
I haven't.
Have you heard Why Me?
Maybe. I know that one of the ones after he died that C-Lane said, oh, okay, I'm familiar with that song, but I know his name. Like, I just
Bobby
heard his
McGee.
name.
That one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that, definitely.
Well, Why Me saw a 1,442% increase. So if your music's doing bad, just die.
Die. It's one strategy. It's an aggressive one, but it's a strategy.
Lots of dying in this latest adaptation. Is it adaptation? I guess it's just the third part of Terrifier coming out soon. And it is the first horror movie France has banned minors from since Saw 3 in 2006.
Well, they didn't ban the first two?
I guess not. But it's making waves. First for the horror genre since the release of Saw 3 back in 2006. I don't remember that one being the scariest one. I thought Saw 1 was the scariest.
I don't have any experience with the Saw movies. I had just never got into those.
I'll download it on a DVD for you because I have all of them. I purchased them a while back.
I'll spin it around on my finger real fast and see if I can get something to happen.
And now France has recommended a ban on the film for minors under 18 years old. In other words, anyone under 18 is not admitted into the theaters for Terrifier 3.
Is this the equivalent of NC-17 here?
It
sounds
sure
like
is.
it's about the same.
That's the exact line, actually. It's the equivalent of the MPA's NC-17 rating here in the United States. Though Terrifier 3 in the U.S. is going to be fully unrated.
Uh-oh. I feel like...
Who's getting slit?
They like this stuff. It's sort of the Beavis and Butthead effect where it's like, you're not supposed to watch this. You're not allowed to go watch that Terrifier movie. And then young kids are like, hell yeah, we got to go see Terrifier right now.
And Beavis and Butthead are not role models. They're not even human. They're cartoons.
What?
Some of the things they do would cause a person to get hurt, expelled, arrested, possibly deported.
The Office.
No, that's the
it's
start
Beavis
of
and
Beavis and
Butthead.
Butthead. And then it goes, bam, 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 bam.
Speaking of a butthead, Kanye West and his wife
Bianca or something
are divorcing.
Oh,
love is dead. Turns out they were right, and they being those that said it wouldn't last. But Kanye and Bianca reportedly heading to divorce land, which would be number 3 for him. 4,
Is it?
3? I don't know.
I only remember Kim Kardashian. He was with her, obviously, and they
Amber
divorced.
Rose, wasn't he married to or just dated?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'll check.
So they got married back in December of 2022. They split up a few weeks ago. Kanye has supposedly been telling people that he plans to divorce her and move to 4 points if you guess it.
Italy.
No. Try
Japan.
again. Close. Tokyo.
China.
Tokyo. I was looking for Tokyo, so points to C-Lane. And I know where
Japan's only close?
But I was looking for, it's so close that it's in the same place.
Okay.
I was looking for Tokyo.
I'm only coming up with 2 spouses, Bianca Censori and Kim Kardashian.
Oh, number 3.
Whatever the hell I'm
maybe
looking at.
in Tokyo.
Could be.
Speaking of divorce, this gal right here, she's in the middle of one that seems to be getting nasty.
That is
I'm cold.
Megan Thee Stallion.
No, I'm so cold. I might put on
Ice Spice.
I might put on an Ice Spice.
Yeah, just go to the Ice Spice closet, get out your extra large Ice Spice.
Right, yeah, of course.
Cuddle up in that Ice Spice, baby.
Ice is cold,
makes you
okay?
so warm. Okay, but now Ice Spice has made me so cold, I might put on a sweater, but it's also called a...
Jacket. Cardigan. Cardi B.
Cardi B is right. Well, now there's
You
rumors.
are not
Why
on
didn't you
my...
just say it's not Cardi C? We could have just said Cardi B.
Because I wanna kind of just help you guys maybe make your brains work a little harder. I don't know. I guess I'll do that next time. Maybe not even play the game anymore. Cardi B is being accused of cheating while she was pregnant with their 3rd child. They're being Offset and her kid. Rumor has it the other man was an NFL wide receiver, but it was Cardi doing the receiving.
Ooh.
Ice Spice. So the internet is now speculating it was either Houston Texans receiver Sean.
Oh,
That
I
is, of
forgot
course,
the guy. They did Damian Turley.
Stephon Diggs, or
So close.
of the Miami Dolphins.
Deshaun Watson.
Nope. You just mixed the name.
Tua.
It's Tyreek Hill. So
Tagovailoa.
these are all just rumors, of course, but this is not a rumor. Cardi B did get herself a new cat, and she named it Wet Ass P.
Pussycat.
Oh.
After Pussycat.
Yeah.
So I hope it stays dry, especially during the hurricane. And I've run out of time, haven't I? But this is a cat. This is kind of a
She
cat.
can wear her Ice Spice during the hurricane to keep nice and warm.
Come on, she said cold.
I heard
Ice
those are
cold.
sold out. Nothing like an Ice Spice jacket. If I were asking about a drink, I could see where Ice Spice makes sense.
Oh, I thought it was
How do you
cold
put
and
on Ice
ice.
Spice?
And there's a rapper named Ice Spice who apparently is a real bee. If you look into some of the stories about her.
Are you saying you can't say bitch?
I was just censoring myself for the kids. It's a hurricane, so there's a lot of youngins listening.
Hey,
so I don't
cuties,
say
don't
crap
do
like
drugs.
that. All right.
Billie Eilish. Her fans, for some reason, but I know the reason, are now meowing fully stadium crowds.
Just meowing?
At our concerts. Well, it's to this song. It's a TikTok trend. It is a cover by Bongo Cat, who's making more money than all three of us combined, and it's a cat.
Isn't that annoying for her? I wonder if she finds that annoying.
I imagine it would be very annoying, considering that this is a beautiful song. And
It's a really good song.
It
is. I think if I were Billie Eilish, I would have to embrace it. So I would just, at the concert, be like, all right, guys, get it out of your system right now. Get it out of your system right now before I start singing.
The trend on TikTok was playing that song for babies, which from what I understand, 7 out of 10 babies would just start hysterically crying from hearing that song. Would you try it on Jackson for research purposes?
Absolutely.
All right.
I did the thing where you throw cheese at his face.
Where's that video?
You just hauled off and tossed cheese at him?
Yeah, it was supposed to
American
be like
slice?
It was supposed to be like if a baby's crying, you throw cheese at their face, and they get so confused that they just stop crying. Didn't work. Jackson
cried more?
powered on.
Oh.
Now he cried. Now he cried, and he's got a layer of cheese on him, and he's freaking out even more.
It's just a slice of American. It probably went to Lexi.
On the boob tube, if your TV still has power, we have got the internet. Dancing with the Stars, The Voice, the 1-hour Oprah special, The Presleys, Elvis, Lisa Marie, and Riley on CBS. Get your popcorn. Second season premiere of Accused, High Potential on ABC, and Ali Wong, Single Lady on Netflix. Harrison Ford is getting off his plane and right into the hot seat of Kimmel. Follow your dreams on me on Instagram at Sabrina Amber, and if you know where I could buy a generator, hit me up. Stay with me, America.
Smoke weed every day.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Or if I could just borrow one.
When we come back,
3 days.
We're going to be talking with the mother of this young guy, 22 years old, I believe, who is now facing a lot of time behind bars. And it doesn't seem like he really did that much. And it seems like a miscarriage of justice to me. So we want to get a little deeper down into this and get some details and sort of outline what happened with this story and the reason why her son is facing up to life in prison for doing nothing, really. So details on that on the way. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Storm coverage on Real Radio is sponsored by Kaufman & Lind. Why Kaufman & Lind? Because your case matters. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Traffic is starting to slow down on I-4 eastbound approaching St. John's River Bridge. You could expect your regular delays approaching State Road 429 and your regular congestion on I-4 in the Lake Buena Vista area. Watch out for an accident on I-4 eastbound near US 92. The left lane's partially blocked. There's an earlier accident on 434 near I-4. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Wawa. Wawa handcrafted beverages are just $3 or $4. From iced lattes to smoothies to a late-night milkshake. Get any handcrafted 16 or 24-ounce beverage for just $3 or $4. Gotta have a Wawa.
This earful of Real Radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Is it a cold, allergies, or could it be a sinus issue? Aspire Allergy and Sinus can help you find out. A recent study has shown that 45% of patients who suffer from allergies also suffer from chronic sinus issues that are often left untreated. So ditch those nasal sprays and over-the-counter meds for good and find a solution that actually works. The specialists at Aspire Allergy and Sinus make it easy by identifying the problem and creating a custom plan to tackle it. Go to AspireAllergy.com to schedule your appointment. That's AspireAllergy.com.
It's more than just a fence. It protects your future gardener.
Mom, look at my tomato. Wow.
Your future Olympian. And your future best in show. Get your free quote today for all the future brings at fenceoutlet.com.
Wawa makes the right handcrafted beverages for the right time. And now, handcrafted beverages are just $3 or $4. Jump out of bed for a nice latte. Take a lunch break for a smoothie. Or celebrate with a late-night milkshake. Wawa makes the right beverages for the right time, now at an even better price. Get smoothies, lattes, or any handcrafted 16-ounce or 24-ounce beverage for just $3 or $4. Gotta have a Wawa.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yup.
And Nip wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins? They won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. Reduce your impact on the environment this fall by packing a waste-free lunch for school or work. Avoid foods with excessive packaging. Use reusable cutlery, napkins, cups, bags, and containers, and recycle or compost any waste when possible. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
We all think about buying a house instead of renting, right? But did you ever realize you're renting your electricity every single month? Yep, overpaying the power company and watching prices rise every year. This year alone, prices have jumped over 10%. Isn't it time you own your own power with Solar Source? I started with my pool heater going solar, and now I'm thrilled with Solar Source's pay-as-you-go system where I can save each month starting at only $99. Now, Solar Source isn't new to this game. They've been in business for nearly 40 years with the same phone number since 1984 and over 60,000 installations right here in Central Florida. They are the company I trust. Are you ready to stop renting your electricity? Switch to Solar Source today and start owning your own power. Switch to Solar Source today by going to solarsource.com/monster. Honestly, going Solar Source has been the best thing we've done all year. I absolutely love the company, and you save more money when you tell them you know Russ Rollins. That's solarsource.com/monsters.
Get ready for fall road trips with Pep Boys. Shop and save on newly reduced prices on hundreds of tires. Save up to $420 instantly on select Cooper tires. That's up to $300 in savings with buy 3, get the 4th free, plus $120 in savings with free installation. Don't miss this chance to save big. Buy 3, get the 4th free, plus free installation on select Cooper tires. Ends 10/2024. Tire discount equals the retail price of one tire in a purchase set, excluding taxes. Terms and exclusions apply. Visit pepboys.com for details.
New South Window lives southern weather. We prioritize keeping your family and your home comfortable all year round. That's why our energy-efficient windows and doors are made, installed, and guaranteed for life.
Save 35% off. Visit newsouthwindow.com/radio.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Education doesn't just take place in the classroom. There are many ways children of all ages can learn about sustainability and the environment at home. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth for a list of resources, activity guides, and toolkits that are educational and fun for the whole family. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
This is trial attorney Jeff Kaufman from the injury law firm of Kaufman & Lind. When people ask me what I do for a living, I don't even blink. I'm an accident attorney. For those who've never been in an accident, that carries a negative connotation. For those who have, they understand. They need an attorney to fight a billion-dollar insurance company, to make sure their bills are paid and that their future is protected. I'm very proud of what I do, and I take it very serious. If that works for you, contact me at whenyouneedus.com or dial 407-500-JEFF. That's 407-500-5333. Offices, Orlando.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman & Lind Studios. Why Kaufman & Lind? Find out at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. story time with the 3 best friends you never knew you had.
It's looking like a rough couple of days on the way for most of you listening throughout the state of Florida. And we'll get to the details that you need to know in just a bit. Right now, there's been a story that we've been discussing on the show that's perplexing to me. It's a little insane. And there's real, genuine people at the center of this. So we've done enough of reading through some of the court documents, talking about the stories. Now it's time to go to the people involved directly in this. And we have Victoria Maxwell with us. Victoria, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. So your son is Devin Perkins, correct?
That is correct.
All right. I want to ask you a little bit about Devin Perkins here. And we want to talk about what's going on with him currently. He's a young guy. What is he, 22 years old?
At the time of the crash.
At the time of the 24. Crash. Okay, so he's 24 now. He was 22 years old when this crash happened. Bring me back to the night of the crash, because I know you thought your son almost died. He was very hurt, and he got injured in this accident. So bring me back to that night.
Yeah, it's a miracle that Devin survived. He arrived at Halifax unresponsive, not breathing. I identified him the following afternoon as a John Doe is how I found him. Mm-hmm. But it was a horrific accident.
What happened to him physically? Did he break bones? Did he?
He had 3 broken ribs. He had an enlarged spleen. He had a punctured lung.
Jesus.
He had a broken pelvis that required surgery and plates. Pelvis area is not an area of the body that easily heals. Mm-hmm. I mean, he'll never be the same. Given the impact to the windshield, facial lacerations, cuts all over his neck, his face, his hands.
Jesus. So he was all beat up after this accident.
Without a doubt.
It was. He lost some of his friends as well in this accident. Can we talk about them real quick and just who was in the vehicle?
Yes, that's actually stating it lightly. He lost the love of his life, Alexander Doolin, also known on social media networks as Allie Spice. Mm-hmm. His best friend, Kyle Mosier, longtime best friend, and Ava Fellerman. That was the first night that Ava had met the rest of the party in the car. It was a good friend of Allie's.
Oh. Okay. And were they all with your son in this Infiniti? They were in the Infiniti vehicle?
Correct.
Okay.
He had a 2014 Infiniti sedan.
All right. So they're driving along in this Infiniti vehicle. They had been hanging out together. It's the early hours of the morning, dark outside. They're driving down a very small road. It's a 2-lane road, correct?
No. It is a 4-lane divided highway with a large grass center median. It's State Road 44.
Okay.
It's a road that actually Devin lives off of. From the time he has received his license, he's quite familiar with State Road 44.
Okay, so he's headed home. He's on State Road 44. And now how many vehicles were involved in this late night, early morning accident?
There was a total of 4 vehicles.
All right. So you got the Infiniti. You got this Toyota truck that we're going to talk about in a minute. What were the other 2 vehicles that were involved?
The third vehicle was a Prius. It was driven by, and I can't remember, Tom DeMarso. He was a witness within the trial of Devin.
Okay.
And his car was totaled. The 4th vehicle managed to get through the incident with minor damage. I'm not quite sure how extensive that last car was.
All right. Did anybody in the Prius die?
No, sir.
Okay. So the deaths were all in the Infiniti. Was there anybody else in this Toyota truck?
Yes. Joanna Dillon was the passenger. She is the owner of the Toyota truck.
Okay. Did she die or did she survive?
She survived.
Okay. So
she survived with...
The only people who died were your son's friends in the vehicle with him.
Correct.
Okay. That's important to know, I think. Okay. So now your son's driving down the street. Let's talk about the accident itself. And then we'll talk about sort of what I think is insane that's happening to your son in court. But Victoria, your son, Devin, is driving in the Infiniti. He's got his 3 friends in the car with him that ended up dying because of this accident. A vehicle is in his lane. A vehicle swerves into oncoming traffic and crashes into them at a high rate of speed.
And I think that we were kind of under the impression that it was a 2-lane, therefore.
Yeah.
But now it's very clear. He went over a median with grass.
No. If I could just back you up for just a moment.
Okay.
Because this story actually starts at 2:03 a.m., where the wrong way driver in the Toyota truck, there was a 911 call reporting the accident. This is a clear 9 miles east of where this head-on collision occurred.
Okay.
That was the first of several calls to 911. The second call that came in, the driver was able to avoid him. The second call that came in, I believe it was 2:07. This call had indicated that the truck now had no headlights.
Okay, so we got a guy who's driving into oncoming traffic, trying to crash, and the second call says now he's even turned off his headlights. This person who's driving this Toyota
That's
truck.
correct.
And then eventually he gets further down the road, and it seems clear that he's intentionally crashing into the vehicle that happened to be driven by your son.
There's no avoiding it. The area is desolate. It is not surrounded by any lights, any businesses. It's just past the Volusia County Fairgrounds. There's no way to see an oncoming truck, heading in front of you.
So now it seems pretty clear to me what we have going on. We have this late night accident. We have somebody who is intentionally driving into oncoming traffic. They crash into your son's Infiniti vehicle. His 3 friends, unfortunately, die in the car with him. He's very beat up and battered after this accident. He's a victim. He's a victim in all this to everybody who's looking at this story. Obviously, he goes to the hospital. And then at some point after this, you must hear, hey, they're considering charging him with a crime. He's been removed from victim status. Now he's charged with a crime. How did that work out?
Okay, well, if I could just back up for just a moment, right from the beginning, we all know if some of the allegations that state attorney, some of the factors that they had sort of compiled to charge Devin was the fact that there was alcohol in the system and THC. Blood toxicology was done in the ICU.
Yeah.
If there was warrant and merit for a DUI or affiliated to that, he would have been arrested at that point. And Devin, by all accounts.
And just to be clear, the toxicology report said 0.02 or something around that, way under the legal limit, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So he's not impaired with alcohol. He's well under the legal limit, and that doesn't seem to be an issue. And then you
correct.
talked about the THC in the system, which was like a minute amount, as best I could tell.
Correct.
That didn't seem to be having any impact on his ability to drive safely in that moment. So it comes down to the fact that they said your son was speeding in this car. That was the reasoning why a prosecutor decided to take somebody who was a victim and maybe send them to jail for the rest of their life?
Yes, they stated that the culmination was a factor.
That's crazy.
But there have been concerns with the investigation and the handling of this case. And one of the things that really is not aware is Fellerman and Sternboli, Ava's uncle, actually had such concerns that he was on route and in the state of Florida the following Monday morning, September 12th, doing his own sort of investigation. I mean, it was his niece, of course, that perished. I would defer you to some of the other parents to maybe ask them about their thoughts of how it was handled. But no, everyone was not aware. We were not aware. Devin was a victim. We identified the wrong way driver. It was identified by Kyle's sister and sister-in-law, I believe just the following day.
And okay, so now it's where there's a lot of questions here because
yes, sir,
I don't see anything that would lead me to believe a prosecutor would say this is worth going with. Did any of the victims who died, did any of those families push against your son, Devin Perkins, and say, hey, he may be a victim too. Maybe he was driving this car, but he should be prosecuted. Was anybody calling for that?
Nobody was vocal in any fashion in a public forum, with the exception of Greg Fellerman, which it was August 9th was a hearing that was that he was able to chime in on a Zoom call. I will tell you, the morning of my arrest.
Who is this person that you're talking about?
This is Ava Fellerman's dad, Greg Fellerman.
Okay. All right.
However, the morning of my son's arrest, I was notified by Ed Saramboli, who actually had civil ties with Devin.
Mm-hmm.
He told me of the arrest before I was even aware of it.
Okay. So there was one of the family members who made some sort of mention about charges for your son.
Correct.
Which would have put a little fire under the prosecutor. The prosecutor looks at this and sees that the only thing you really have is the speeding issue. And a lot of the reports I saw said that your son, Devin Perkins, was driving 100 miles an hour. But it looks like in the court documents that they determined he was not going that fast at the time of the crash. It was closer to 80 something, right?
They have the EDR records, and they do have, and understand that, please, last week, this whole thing is overwhelming. So I do invite anyone to fact check me. Mm-hmm. They do have the last 5 seconds of his EDR. They do indicate, I believe it was at 5 seconds, that he was 100 mile per hour. They went down in increments, at a half-second increments. And I will tell you this, one thing that I know for certain is that Devin braked and he did a hard steer. Uh-huh. So my interpretation of that is he had just recognized the car coming at him and tried to veer away from. Unfortunately, when you compare the size of an Infiniti Q50 to a 4-door or 4-cab Toyota Tacoma truck, there's quite a difference in the frame mechanisms. There's quite a difference in the size of the automobiles. Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of apparent considering the fatalities and the fact that both
the guy survived.
Both of them. There was another person in the Toyota, you said, and both of them survived. And I brought this up when we talked about it earlier, and forgive me if this was already mentioned, but had he been going the speed limit or maybe just 5 to 10 miles over, it still would have been just as terrible of an accident. And where it lies that he becomes at fault is wild to me, because had that person not been driving the wrong way, then none of this would have happened.
Right. That's the most frustrating thing. If there was never, if this guy wasn't trying to run into people, nobody's dead. Everybody gets home. That's absolute fact. Everybody's fine. If we can eliminate that Toyota truck driving eastbound in the westbound lanes of State Road 44, and it's not like he went across the street. Again, this is a 4-lane divided highway with a large center grass median. Mm-hmm. We can, with certainty, say that if Tom Petrie was not on that road, this would have never happened. Actually, for all sense and purposes, if Tom Petrie hadn't been on that road, none of our families would have lost our children. Right. Because the loss of my son to Volusia County Corrections and potentially serving 30 years to life, this is a direct result of Tom Petrie's actions. Yeah. So now we've got your son. Has he been in jail this whole time? Is he in jail right now? No, sir. He was out on bond when the verdict of guilty came in for the charges of vehicular homicide and reckless driving. They did revoke his bond last Monday, and they have him over at Volusia County Corrections. Yeah. Okay.
Is this his first offense? Sorry, this is a personal question. See, that's also very interesting to me, because for them to throw the book so intensely at him, especially without any priors, it's like, what example are you trying to make here? Yeah, to that point, if he had a whole bunch of DUIs and driving aggressively and getting into a whole bunch of accidents, if you had a whole bunch of stuff like that, you go, okay, that makes a little sense, but it just doesn't add up. And Big House on YouTube says a jury won't find him guilty. They did. They did find him guilty. Yeah. But given the only, like, the yes or no, black and white, from what I understand of being on a jury, it's like, you're only asked these specific questions. They had no other way. Yeah, they forced him down a path where they had to find him guilty, kind of. Yes, sir. Can we talk real quick about, they offered a deal to your son? I was just going to bring that up. Okay. What was the deal that they offered Devin? On paper? Yeah. The plea deal. On paper, officially, they offered him a 10 to 20. Okay. What on paper? What about not on paper? Potentially a lesser sentence if he was to take responsibility for one of the children in the car. And my son is stand fast in his conviction
that he was responsible for every person in his car. He was just as responsible for Allie as he was for Kyle, as he was for Ava. He took the responsibility as a designated driver that evening. And he said, no, honestly, his exact words, I'm going to take 30 on the chin before I plead to something that I'm not responsible for.
So the prosecutor comes at you and says, if he takes responsibility for one of these people's deaths, and he does not find himself to be responsible.
Let me just clarify, because I don't want my hand to be slapped. That was in ear. That was in backdoor conversations. I don't think that was formally presented at all. When we got back in front of Judge Nichols, state made sure to express very, very loudly, we want to make sure that people are aware we offered a 10 to 20.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they push back on the other deal.
What would be the advantage, or I don't know if advantage is the right word. What did it mean to take responsibility for one of the people in the car and not all three? Like
the parent.
You're just pleading to one count of vehicular manslaughter?
I that's coming from hearsay. Okay, that's what I heard with my ears. I did not see the paperwork. I was not told by prosecutor what it means for my son. If he were to accept a plea, he is accepting a plea of 4 felonies.
Yeah.
3 of vehicular homicide and 1 felony charge of reckless driving with serious bodily injury.
Mm-hmm. But now he's been found guilty of all of these things. And
he has.
And now what's he facing? Life, potentially, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there an appeal process or an option for that?
There is an appeal process. I'm not a lawyer. That is, we're exploring all options. I firmly believe that every aspect of this case from the very beginning, from that first 911 call, needs to be explored. Overview of discovery that was provided to the state, that needs to be secured. Mm-hmm. Looked at above our 7th district.
Yeah. And now it's too late, right? It's too late to revisit this and talk about any kind of other deal. All that stuff.
Our defense team did submit a motion for a retrial based on some case law and some, they cited some rulings that should not have been included, one of which was the THC. I'm not a legal expert. This is my first rodeo. This is my very first experience with anything like this. That motion, of course, was denied.
Yes. All right. So now you've got long appeals process ahead of you here. And
yes, sir.
And your 24-year-old now son is behind bars and in a real bad spot. And could be behind bars for the rest of his life, which is just insane to me to think about. Has the prosecution at any point come over and said, like, hey, we didn't want this to get this bad? Hey, maybe...
Doubt it.
Do they seem to care?
No.
They seem like they're happy about it.
No, they were actually proud of. If you look on their Facebook, 7th District Court, they almost were glorified. And I believe that there's a comment in there. And I can speak because I am very, very close. The families of the Doolins, the Mosiers, and the Perkins, we are a united family, unfortunately, as a result of this tragic accident that has taken our children. Mm-hmm. When they posted on Facebook, the guilty verdict coming in, I seem to recall an actual comment from RJ Larissa indicating feeling for the families. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think the families have been heard. Mm-hmm. They need to be heard.
Yeah, it seems hard to believe that they would want another person to face this when they lost their children, and they would know that this was about somebody who intentionally drove into traffic, this madman who, in some wild version of this world that we live in, is facing basically the same charges that your son was facing.
And honestly, one thing that has been brought up to me is if we're looking at charging parties, why hasn't anyone looked at the passenger of the vehicle who was inebriated enough not to be able to drive? She was shut off. They were at the Eagle's Nest for 6 hours drinking prior to this accident. Yeah. There's no timeline of what happened within the hour and a half that they were missing, because I believe, the hour, because they left the Eagles. There is footage. They left the Eagles at 1 a.m. and the accident occurred at approximately 2:14 a.m. But the passenger willingly gave her keys to Thomas Petrie.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was in the hospital, wouldn't release his name, even though she knew who he was.
Yeah. Well,
I find more guilt in that.
Victoria, one thing that it just keeps running through my mind right now is I'm big on fairness. This seems incredibly unfair and stupid to me in so many ways. But how are you getting through this? This is your son, and he may be in jail for the rest of his life for this stupidity. How are you getting through?
This is not the end of my son's story.
Mm-hmm.
And Devin and I have faced this from the very beginning. And I have this thought in my head, and it so loudly screams to me. And I tell him all the time, I said, son, you will be put together piece by piece in front of those who seek to destroy you. He knows it's not the end of his story. I know it's not the end of his story. I think with enough exposure, with enough digging, people are going to see the truth. The charges were extreme. If there was a charge of a reckless driving or a speeding, so be it. But we cannot factor out the causation of this horrific accident.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We can take everything out of the equation. If Devin had driven off the road, hit a telephone pole that resulted in the deaths of our family members, that'd be one thing, but that's not the case.
Right.
If not, and this is even from testimony from the lead homicide investigator, Brian Gensler, if not for Tom Petrie driving the wrong way for 8 miles, it's gone back and forth whether the headlights were on or off, but the headlights were off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This accident wouldn't have occurred.
All right. I want to thank you for taking time to let people know a little bit more about this. We're going to open things up. I'll see if the prosecutor is willing to talk with us and say what they would say from the other side of this. We're going to keep following this as obviously sentencing and stuff is on the way. But Victoria.
Can I give you one last thought?
Yeah.
And I know I'm all squirrely, but this is a lot for me to take on. SaveDevin.com is a website that is being completed, getting ready to launch, where updates for the case. It's an outlet for the media to contact family members who do want to be contacted. The Doolin family, the Mosier family, they absolutely want their voices heard. They will be listed on the front page of this to be reached out, to be contacted, to be interviewed. Let our voices be heard.
Okay. SaveDevin.com, DEVIN.
SaveDevin.com. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Victoria Maxwell. Appreciate you and appreciate the time.
Listen, from the very bottom of my heart, thank you all very much for giving. I don't have a voice. My son was not considered a victim. There is no charges for the injuries, the lifelong injuries that he has sustained from the hands of Tom Petrie. There's no additional charges for Petrie for leaving the scene of serious bodily injury for Devin Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
There's no accountability.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure that voices are heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, keep fighting him. He's going to need you to certainly help with the position that he finds himself in now. But we're going to keep an eye on all this, and we'll perhaps talk with you more and keep you in the loop. So thank you for your time, Victoria.
Thank you so much.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into, I think Mo might be joining us here at some point. We got into this, get into the cyber attack story that we were discussing, and your dispatches. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is
The Monsters in the Morning.
I'm way out of your weight, class A, and I have too much knowledge.
That's the first time that's ever been said.
Maybe it is.
The Monsters in the Morning.
Real Radio 104.1.
From the Goldsmith Jewelry Shop Traffic Center. Lowest prices on the highest quality jewelry. GoldsmithJewelry.com.
Traffic is starting to slow down on Florida's Turnpike northbound approaching I-75. There's heavy delays on I-75 northbound. Keep in mind, there's slowdowns on I-4 eastbound approaching State Road 429. Traffic is congested all the way from Old Grade Road there. Watch out for an accident on Alafaya Trail near I-4, causing a bit of commotion. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Wawa. Wawa handcrafted beverages are just $3 or $4. From iced lattes to smoothies to a late-night milkshake. Get any handcrafted 16 or 24-ounce beverage for just $3 or $4. Gotta have a Wawa.
The Hilton Orlando, Altamont Springs, and Twin Peaks Altamont present the Rockers for Knockers Car Wash. Saturday, October 12th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hilton Orlando, Altamont Springs. Benefiting the American Cancer Society and making strides against breast cancer. The Twin Peaks ladies will wash your car with all proceeds going to charity. Every wash qualifies you for a chance drawing for prizes from Twin Peaks. Even concert tickets from this radio station. The Rockers for Knockers Car Wash, Saturday, October 12th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hilton Orlando, Altamont Springs, 350 South North Lake Boulevard in Altamont.
How long have you been thinking about going solar? With power bills soaring higher and higher than ever, it's time to think about what you can save instead of what you're spending. Each year you wait, you could be losing thousands. This year alone, prices have jumped over 10%. Isn't it time you own your own power or solar source? With over 40 years in business, Solar Source has over 60,000 installations right here in Central Florida. They've had the same phone number since 1984. It's no wonder this company is the one I trust. I started with a pool heater solar, and now I'm thrilled that Solar Source has a pay-as-you-go system. I can save monthly, and it starts at $99. That's solarsource.com/monsters.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Premier Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Premier Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Premier Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 407-337-5569. 407-337-5569. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 407-337-5569.
We are connected internationally with relationships in the diamond industry that go back decades. Sources all over the world.
International Diamond Center's owner Keith LeClaire explains how IDC always offers to beat anyone else's price on a diamond.
We buy direct from the cutters, we pay cash, and we just don't believe in typical jewelry store markups.
With his background as a wholesaler, Keith says IDC's business model is based on lower margins and higher volume.
We're not here to sell you something for a quick buck.
So it comes down to better sourcing and low markups.
That's why we guarantee the best value price.
If you're buying a diamond, engagement ring, or any fashion jewelry, come experience a refreshing alternative to the typical jewelry experience at IDC.
We're here to offer the right price on every piece of jewelry that you buy from IDC.
Real value from real people.
We'd rather make a little bit and keep you as a customer than make a lot of it and lose you as a customer.
International Diamond Center, all 4 Orlando locations, and online shopidc.com.
This is trial attorney Jeff Kaufman from the injury law firm of Kaufman & Lind. I bought a pair of Jordan 5s off eBay. They went through the authentication process. When they got here, something was wrong with them. I put them on and they immediately self-destructed. I contacted eBay. They said they weren't responsible. I filed multiple emails, photos, complaints. I didn't stop till I won. That's what I did for a pair of tennis shoes. Imagine what I would do for you. Contact me at whenyouneedus.com or dial 407-500-JEFF. That's 407-500-5333, offices Orlando.
New South Window lives southern weather. We prioritize keeping your family and your home comfortable all year round. That's why our energy-efficient windows and doors are made, installed, and guaranteed for life.
Save 35% off. Visit newsouthwindow.com/radio.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Send us a dispatch and join the ranks of the great 5%ers.
In just a moment, as we look at Hurricane Milton on the horizon. Yes, a big, giant storm headed for the state of Florida. Before we get to your dispatches, let's give you the latest on Milton. Tampa is there in the center of the cone, but I don't know how many people understand how all this works. Just because you're in the center of the cone doesn't necessarily mean it's most likely going to you. It means that it could wobble and go anywhere from the top of the cone to the bottom of the cone, and you just happen to be right in the center of that. But it could go all the way to the southernmost end of that hurricane prediction cone.
Suffice to say, the cone is not the hurricane.
Yes, yeah. It's just like an outlook on which direction everything is going to go. It was a Category 5 yesterday, which was just kind of astonishing and honestly very frightening to watch. And then it went down to a Category 4, downgraded to that this morning. And it's headed for possibly Tampa or Sarasota, no matter where it's going. And even if it goes down to, let's say, a Cat 3 at landfall or smaller than that, it would still bring with it a huge storm surge. And that is going to be one of the major problems with Milton. It's going to be a lot of rain. No matter where you're at in Florida, you're going to see some rain in the next 48 hours, a lot of it, even some wind. But it's going to be about that storm surge for people who are in the areas that are right in the impact zone for this very powerful storm. I'll check out the latest from NOAA in a bit. I wanted to pay this off just so we can get by it. American Water, which is the largest water utility in the United States of America.
Hell yeah, born and raised.
Currently the victim of a cyber attack.
Okay.
Ooh. They have not been able to bill any of their customers, and they provide services, water, to 14 million people in 14 states and 18 military installations. They became aware of the unauthorized activity last week, and they took some steps, including shutting down certain systems. They are saying that as of right now, customers will not face late charges, but a whole bunch of people, millions and millions and millions of them, aren't getting their water bills. You will get them. Trust me, they'll get their money eventually, but not right this second because of a massive cyber attack. C-Lane sent over the Facebook post that Devin Perkins' mother was talking about.
Real gross.
Kind of weird, huh? It like the photo,
it's
even
the pat on the back ism from something like this. When you know that this kid is not a criminal.
Yeah, that's super weird. He'd put his face on there, guilty with the cuffs on it. And it says state attorney, Florida's 7th Circuit. Perkins convicted in head-on collision that killed 3.
Do they say anything in the caption, like, as to why they feel like they've gotten the win here?
I'll tell you, it says, after a 5-day trial and only about 20 minutes of deliberation this morning, a Volusia County jury found defendant Devin Perkins guilty as charged of 3 counts of vehicular homicide and reckless driving, serious bodily injury. Perkins was then taken back in custody until sentence. He faces up to life in prison for the crimes. In the early morning hours of December 11, 2022, defendant Thomas Petrie was driving a Toyota Tacoma into oncoming traffic on State Road 44 when he crashed into an Infiniti Q50, which was driven by Perkins. The 3 passengers in the car died at the scene. Perkins and the passenger in the Tacoma suffered serious injuries. Petrie walked away from the scene. Further investigation revealed Perkins had been driving at 100 miles an hour before impact, 35 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. So they just mentioned that he was driving fast. That's it.
But the other guy was going the wrong way. How about the 2 911 calls that were made about that man?
Yeah,
and he still had a chance to be the result, like kill 3 people.
The post patting themselves on the back, it's almost exclusively mentioning the guy that crashed into their car.
Right.
It's just like, and oh, by the way, he was driving fast at the time of this crash. He was driving fast when somebody else purposely drove into him and crashed into him. And the comments are full of people who are saying, what are you doing? This is a staggering miscarriage of justice. Petrie was driving drunk, blah, blah, blah. This is horrible news. This outcome is not justice. Where are your posts about Petrie? Devin was hit by him. The justice system failed him. Horrible verdict. This shows the justice system is corrupt, and on it goes.
I'm wondering, is there any tie with the Toyota truck guy to prosecutors?
They're coming after him too, but
he played no contest, I think.
Yeah, did he?
To put this in perspective on the amount of attention that the Facebook page for the state attorney for Florida's 7th Circuit gets. Before this post, they posted that a defendant convicted of attempted second-degree murder is guilty. Similar graphic where they put his mugshot and they got the handcuffs. They probably have like a little template that they just post that into. Guilty, and that has 2 comments and 14 shares. We have another person guilty, 10 shares. Another person guilty, 15 comments, 75 shares. On the one for Thomas Petrie, 274 comments and 136 shares.
Yes,
it seems that there are people that have something to say about this kid, and it's not just something that we kind of found and we're like, oh, this is a miscarriage of justice.
It seems like the state attorney has people who are not celebrating what they're doing, even when they're trying to pat themselves on the back.
Yeah.
And they had the balls to say, my heart goes out to the victims and their families, when you're bragging in a post about arresting one of the victims and putting them in jail maybe for the rest of their life. And even if you want to say, all right, even if you want to say, well, he was speeding, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He was going 85 or however he was going at the moment of impact. You think somebody should spend 35 years or the rest of their life behind bars for speeding? That's insane. That's insanity.
It really
We've
is.
lost our minds. God.
I can't believe it got as far as it did.
True.
I mean, I hope that this appeal process is with some proper attorneys. I feel like the attorneys I know, or just the experience that I've had and what we've done and the stories we've shared on the show, it's like they got screwed over. How could anybody stand for this?
Yeah, it seems like he definitely got screwed, and there's some stuff that's happened here that doesn't seem right to me. We're going to go to you, hear from your dispatches, but we are focused on Hurricane Milton for sure, that's marching toward the west coast of Florida. Would you guys consider yourselves ready for the storm at this point in time, or you still got more stuff to do?
Got one element, but I would say for the most part, I'm ready.
Did you get the shopping done?
Shopping has been done. Was able to get the waters, and we have a beautiful amount of food that we must eat in the next 2 days before the power goes out. But trying to get a hold of a generator so that if I end up with many bodies of water around my house, that I could still be able to do some work.
What about you, C-Lane? Are you all ready to go?
I'm ready, baby.
Yeah,
ready.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Got enough booze?
And on the schedule is hosting some of the hurricane coverage, C-Lane and Friends, I saw.
That's if you don't make it in tomorrow, or excuse me, Thursday.
On Thursday. I was like, oh, look at this.
I'm going to inflate my kayak tonight, just in case. I mean, it'd be fun to kayak to your house. I imagine that would be what I would have to do.
Let's do a little guessing here. What are the chances that on Thursday we keep power? Are those pretty low? Because I think they're pretty low. I think
it's rather low.
Yeah, I think the chances that we don't lose power at all are not great. So the problem would be then on Thursday morning getting around and moving. I have a sheet of paper
of the hurricane in our area.
But I have a sheet of paper that grants me all sorts of powers. I'm pretty big. I'm kind of a big deal with this piece of paper I got.
The Hyundai is not going to be able to get through the hurricane.
I drive a Genesis G80, and my beautiful car will take me in luxury style to whatever destination I need to go and route me around any flooding. Now, I know not to go on that one road. You know, the one that flooded during the last storm real bad. That wasn't even a hurricane.
Those were all the roads, my guy.
No, the one next to me where all those cars got stuck.
The one that's half dirt right now?
No, there's a lot of problems around me with the roads.
The last hurricane that flooded really bad in Central Florida, I specifically remember trying to get to the station, and was any way that I went, north, south, east, and west, was surrounded by water. And then there was one like, okay, let's hope I don't sink, and was able to make it through.
I think I can make it. I think I'll be okay.
That is smart.
I also have a 4-hour backup, so I can also just plug in and get moving.
Well, I have a nice, sweet hotel room that is 0.3 miles from the studio right now.
Has everybody claimed all the spots?
Yeah.
Most of them.
They have? Damn it, man. Are there people buzzing around the HQ already trying to get their stuff set up, or it's way too early, right?
Everybody yesterday during the show.
Everybody has pretty much staked their claim to the spots, aside from one that I think would be a perfect spot that nobody jumped on. But they've put up signs as to where they wrote their names and stuck them to the wall like, this is mine. And then they've gone around. Our dear sweet Raquel has unlocked the cupboards to the hurricane snacks They usually remain locked.
It's happening.
I mean, there's. I just saw some pictures of like food that they've loaded, perishables that they've loaded into the refrigerator, but also put a sign on that said, "These are for people working during the hurricane. Hands off our lunch meat."
Yeah, good luck around that building. You know how they are. It's like
I can't believe they claimed the damn rooms already.
They take all kinds of food wherever they can get. Well, people got to stake their claims. I know Deb Roberts
we were on the air.
Deb Roberts was a week ahead of this thing.
She was like first or second.
She said, "This is my place."
Well, she got a really good room. She got that green room that I used to sleep off hangovers in.
That's a good spot, too. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mo DeWitt, I believe, is just pulled up. So we'll chat with him in jury duty.
Oh, good. We have
next.
5 minutes for him.
And then, well, we got a whole nother hour of the show. And in that hour, we're going to start talking Milton timelines, everything that needs to be on your radar, even who needs to be evacuating. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
The fine woman in your smart speaker knows what you need.
Really?
Don't ask how. Just tell her to play Real Radio 104.1 on iHeartRadio.
This is 11-year NBA veteran Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Batteries Plus.
What's wrong with the 49ers? What's right with them? San Francisco's only beaten the Jets and Patriots. Brock Purdy's come back to earth, and their defense just isn't intimidating anymore. They had a very noisy offseason, riddled with injuries again this year. Windows close fast in the NFL, and the Niners window looks to be creeping shut. I'm Colin Cowherd.
At Batteries Plus, you'll find trusted, dependable, fully charged batteries for your car or truck. Plus, free battery testing and expert installation, too. Life's waiting, and you have places to be. Power on with Batteries Plus. Over 700 locations nationwide.
We know that pro athletes train every single day to perform better on the field, but what if you can improve your performance in the bedroom? No training required. I'm sure you've been curious. Now's the time to try it out, and we got a real great deal here. In fact, your first month could be free. Blue Chew. It's a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. It's amazing. Blue Chew's tablets are a performance enhancement for the bedroom, can help men gain extra confidence when it's time to perform. It's an online prescription service, so there's no doctor's office visits, no awkward conversations, just you and a website. And it's a beautiful, beautiful process where it ships right to your door in a discreet package. It's all made in the USA. But here's the deal. Try Blue Chew free, absolutely free, when you use the promo code TNJ at checkout. All you have to do is pay $5 for shipping, and that is it. You could try this out. That's BlueChew.com, promo code TNJ to get your first month free at BlueChew.com.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
October in Central Florida means perfect weather and outdoor adventures. The Filatowski Eye Institute has been enhancing our community's vision for over 30 years. Imagine experiencing our beautiful beaches, lush parks, and exciting theme parks with crystal clear vision. Whether you're watching sunsets at the coast or spotting wildlife in the Everglades, LASIK can make every detail pop. Schedule your free consultation with the Filatowski Eye Institute. Just text 1041 to 868686. This season, fall in love with your vision with the Filatowski Eye Institute.
Get ready for fall road trips with Pep Boys. Shop and save on newly reduced prices on hundreds of tires. Save up to $420 instantly on select Cooper tires. That's up to $300 in savings with buy 3 get the 4th free, plus $120 in savings with free installation. Don't miss this chance to save big. Buy 3 get the 4th free, plus free installation on select Cooper tires. Ends 10/20/24. Tire discount equals the retail price of one tire in a purchase set, excluding taxes. Terms and exclusions apply. Visit pepboys.com for details.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it.
Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Wendy's breakfast burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's.
This earful of Real Radio is sponsored by Shipley Donuts. Now open on South Cimarron Boulevard.
Real Radio is on Instagram at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
When good things go bad, bad things make headlines. This is...
Milton, which is an unwanted visitor that I guess we're going to have to deal with this week. Everybody at HQ at iHeart is getting geared up for this storm, and we are going to keep you updated with everything you need to know. So if you lose power while you have your cell phone, you can always tune in on iHeartRadio and the station. As far as I know, I think starting tomorrow morning, we're going to be live for a long time. It looks like we're going to be live through the night and into Thursday morning when the storm is at its worst, and then pushing that even further throughout the day Thursday. So it looks like we got you covered here. If you want to know what's happening, know what you need to know, get all the help that you need to get, some sort of lifeline for you if you just want to hear people chit-chatting about the same experience you're going through, that's all going to be right here on the station over the next 48 hours. Mo DeWitt of the DeWitt Law Firm joins us for jury duty. Hello, Moses. How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
You feel like you're all ready for Hurricane Milton or what?
As ready as you can be.
Let's take the plane out.
This
the plane took off without me.
Hurricane Milton, as it rolls through, is your neighborhood, Mo, one that's prone to losing power?
Oh, yeah. Loses power over anything.
I hate that. Here we usually hold on, but this seems like one of those storms where for at least a while, everybody's going to have some downtime, and we're not going to have power just nonstop. I don't know how that works. I always hear if you're on the same grid as the hospital or X, Y, or Z, and that you have more likelihood of staying up with your power, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, hospitals also have generators, so they lose power too.
Can I run a long cord to that?
Why not? Get a little extension cord out.
Just run it across 3 main streets on the way here. Mo, I don't know how much you heard about or heard of the conversation we were having with this young man who's now facing life in prison. His mother was on with us.
I did catch part of it.
Okay. When we see a story like that and we see that sentencing's coming up, the guidelines are that this could be anywhere from 30-something years to life in prison. Could the judge say, I feel like this has gotten out of hand? I think that this is an inappropriate amount of time for somebody to do for what has occurred here. And I'm going to unilaterally change this to a much, much lower sentence.
So typically when there's sentencing guidelines, the judge is bound by the guidelines. The only one option, which is probably not an option anymore in this case, but sometimes the judge can issue what they call a judgment notwithstanding the verdict. So basically the judge can say, I think the jury got it wrong here and the person should have been not guilty, and basically throw out the conviction. Now, here, they've already filed a motion for a new trial, so I think that ship has sailed. Now they're just going to have the appellate process.
Really quick, Moses, you said that the judge can issue this. It seems like something that's across the board. Like if you say, hey, I want to do this judgment notwithstanding the verdict, meaning I think you got it wrong, I think he's not guilty. Can he do that the opposite way? If the jury had said not guilty, can he say, no, judgment notwithstanding the verdict, I'm going to judge this as though he's guilty?
No, typically they cannot.
Okay. But
that's good to know.
That doesn't happen often.
No, it's very, very rare. I've only seen it happen in maybe a handful of cases.
What would be the reason for that happening in the cases that you saw where this was occurring?
Just basically the judges watched the trial, and through the judge's eyes, at least, there was no possible way that the elements of the crime were met. So, just like this crime or this case that we talked about last time, when the jury got the questionnaire, most likely there was probably 3 questions on it, 2 or 3 questions saying, was the person driving? Were they negligent? Did a death result? And they have to answer yes or no to those. So if there was no evidence put on to one of those elements, the judge could say, well, even though they said yes, the jury said yes, I didn't see any evidence of this, I'm going to throw out the conviction.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if we're going to see that here. I don't know if that.
I don't think we will.
It seems like if those are the 3 boxes to check, was the person driving, was he negligent, did a death result? The negligent part would have to be the part that you're going after to go, no. This is not a result of negligence.
Right. I mean, that's the one element that they had to attack, and obviously the prosecution used the speed element here to try to establish that the person was negligent.
I think they way overcharged. We see overcharging so much.
Yeah, and you were kind of talking about a little bit before about how they were celebrating, and it was this big victory for them. And we've gotten in this area where I think people kind of see black or white in prosecutors. And I have many friends who are prosecutors. I'm not saying anything negative about prosecutors, but sometimes prosecutors
not like you do when you're
sight.
off the air.
Yes, I told you to keep those conversations confidential
during the break.
I think sometimes people lose sight of what justice actually is, and it's
not just winning.
It's not always just about winning. I mean, their job is to deliver justice, and as the main state attorney, the main prosecutor in the 7th District, really should have reviewed this case, in my opinion, in more detail, and maybe made a better decision about whether they should have brought these charges or not. Obviously, they brought the charges. They thought they were right. From what the mother said, that when she was on here a moment ago, it doesn't sound like the families were really on board. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't.
Might have been one of them.
Yeah, I mean, from what she was saying, it didn't seem like they were really on board.
Which makes me think that that was the one big factor of it.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's one parent, which obviously we don't know what it's like to go through this. And even if he was not charged at all, this is a lifetime of heartbreak that all these families have to go through, and Devin. But for a first-time offender, I have seen so many people get away with a slap on the wrist or withhold of adjudication for doing far worse with far much more evidence. And justice, in my opinion, was not served. But then you have this where it's like, here's our Facebook post to celebrate this photoshopped picture. And we really did it this time. And it's like, I just, once again, feel like something's missing here.
Does that first offender thing come into play here?
It doesn't sound like it comes into play here because they have sentencing guidelines. I mean, I think what we may be looking at here is, bad facts make bad law, right? So there was probably some horrific accident where somebody was killed and the person there got a slap on the wrist or got a very low sentence. And then, some group came in and said, oh, we need, 20 years minimum mandatory sentences on these types of cases. And now the judges are bound by it. They can't do anything when they get a case like this that really doesn't deserve that kind of sentence.
I know Mothers Against Drunk Driving has had pushed for a lot of stuff like that, more strict laws, anything involving.
And it's hard to be against a group like that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you don't want people who are out there drinking and driving and hurting people.
Right. Yeah. All of a sudden you're standing up for the wrong side, or at least it appears that's that way. I want to ask you when we come back a bunch of questions about people getting ready for the storm, but I want to throw one in real quick before we hit the break because I heard somebody ask this earlier. Somebody said, if you are in a mandatory evacuation zone and you stay and you get injured, will your insurance ditch you, or could you still use your insurance in a moment like that?
Like your health insurance?
Yes. Yeah.
As far as I know, your health insurance will still cover you. They're not looking at, a causation as to why you got injured.
Okay.
Now your homeowner's insurance wouldn't apply in a case like that anyways because you got injured on your own property. But your health insurance should still cover you as far as I know.
Okay, so let's talk more when we come back about everybody getting prepared for Hurricane Milton. I know there's a ton of people who are on edge and watching everything that's happening. So we'll get a full update and get into that. And we'll have a little fun while we wrap everything up on a Share the Show Tuesday. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Storm coverage on Real Radio is brought to you by New South Window Solutions, Florida's only factory direct window company. Their windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers, and they're guaranteed for life. Visit newsouthwindow.com for more information.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Keep in mind this afternoon the roadways might be busy, so keep an eye out for local crews and police presence near the roadways. And on those minor roadways, there's going to be a lot of congestion. On I-4, delays approaching State Road 429. There's delays on I-4 approaching St. Johns River Bridge there. And if I-75 is going to be a part of your travels, bumper-to-bumper traffic northbound. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Holiday hosting starts at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances, plus save an additional $75 on select cooking appliances, $899 or more. Valid through 10/16 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
This earful of Real Radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Good news. Mortgage rates have improved again this week. Get your quote for a refinance to lower payments or get cash out at thatmortgageguyDon.com.
With that mortgage guy, Don.com.
Columbus Day weekend, Saturday, October 12th through Monday, October 14th. Visit the Space Coast in Cocoa Beach and support the National Kiddie Foundation's 39th Annual Surf Fest, featuring hundreds of competitive surfers in pro and amateur divisions, live entertainment, and fun for the entire family. Spectators are free, so don't miss out on the fun in the sun at the Westgate Pier. Plus, join us for the Taste of Brevard and silent auction on Sunday, October 13th from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information, visit nkfsurf.com. That's nkfsurf.com.
Brought to you by the Capital One Venture Card. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One wants to help you follow your favorite athletes wherever they're playing. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day and use those miles to visit arenas across the country. Plus, earn unlimited 5 times miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. Your next epic sports trip is closer than you think. The Venture Card from Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Wawa makes the right handcrafted beverages for the right time. And now, handcrafted beverages are just $3 or $4. Jump out of bed for a nice latte. Take a lunch break for a smoothie. Or celebrate with a late-night milkshake. Wawa makes the right beverages for the right time. Now at an even better price. Get smoothies, lattes, or any handcrafted 16-ounce or 24-ounce beverage for just $3 or $4. Gotta have a Wawa.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yup.
And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins, they won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 689-305-2853. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 689-305-2853. That's 689-305-2853.
Brought to you by the Capital One Venture X Card. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One wants to bring you closer to the athletes you love. Literally, with premium travel benefits from the Capital One Venture X Card. With Venture X, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when booking on Capital One Travel and access to airport lounges worldwide. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
GMC Sierra trucks in stock now at orangebuickgmc.com. We are professional grade.
Broadcasting live from the injury law firm of Kaufman and Lind Studios. Why Kaufman and Lind? Because your case matters. Contact them at whenyouneedus.com or dial pound 546 on your cell phone. This is WTKS FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Riding the daily roller coaster of viral news from the front row. It's
If you want to be anonymous, you can put that right on top, and I will not say your name unless I forget and say it and then have to dump it, which has happened once, but almost perfect through the anonymous side of things with emails.
You've done a thing where they'll say, I want to be anonymous at the beginning, and then you go, all right, you did the right thing, you're anonymous. And then you'll read their sign off and be like, thank you, Greg. And you're like, all right, thanks, Greg. And it was like, oh, no, he didn't know. He forgot Greg.
Yeah, maybe sincerely remember not to say my name and then say your name.
I try to scratch it out on the emails. This is why I print them out. It seems like all of my, the ways that I do these things are very from the 90s. But it's just easier that way. It just works a little better.
Well, now that you're printing on two sides of the paper, it's just a whole new...
It's probably the other side that says, please don't say my name. Anonymous.
I think that has happened before. Like you get down to the bottom of the email, and then right at the end, it gets cut off. But our friend Moses DeWitt of the DeWitt Law Firm is with us as we get all ready for Hurricane Milton. I got the update on that. We'll get to it in a moment. And Mo was talking about during the break, you got the Starlink backup.
Yeah.
Which that's really, really, I think it's going to become super popular for people who want to be set for storms. The number one thing is generators, obviously, but you don't just want the generator. If you have the generator and the Starlink,
you're good to go.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
You're back on board. And the sky is littered with those damn satellites.
It is.
We might as well make use of them, I think. So we'll see how all those utilities go through the storm in just a bit. But here's what's
Ashley, because she's been ever since we made the plans. She's like, oh, so you're abandoning me. Oh, you're going to do that before you abandon me. It's give me $5 every time you mention how I'm abandoning you. And I said, tell you what, in the future of this house, because it's going to be like our forever home. There's a handful of wish list things that I want. I want solar. I want some sort of battery backup. So we don't lose power or stuff like that.
Like a Tesla Powerwall?
Or something that's cheaper than the Powerwall.
There are 40 of the Prime Day power banks.
Yeah, but just an array of jackeries would be fine by me, too.
It'll be the biggest fire hazard in the world, but it'll be a steal of a deal, man.
And all Ashley wants is to not be abandoned.
But like that, so that and a Starlink or something, some good internet, and I won't have to abandon you.
How much is it a month? Is it expensive?
So I bought it for the plane. I just did I think the 50 gig plan where it's like $50 a month, and then if you want the full plan, I think it's like $150 a month.
Is it on the plane right now?
No, it's at the house right now.
Oh, perfect. Can I borrow it?
The plane or
come on over?
Both.
Starlink or both of them?
I'll get to the station real quick.
Where is the plane? Where do you?
It's in the sky.
Do you have it fly somewhere where it's safer?
So, yeah, they flew it to Alabama, which I was thinking about taking the plane and maybe going somewhere else. And I looked it up, and the plane was already on its way to Alabama. So I was like,
didn't even say bye.
Those people. So here's what we got for
just get on FlightAware. Where's my plane?
Yeah, that's exactly what I
did. It seems like there'd be a better way, but hey, it works. That's an efficient way. Key messages for Hurricane Milton. We got damaging hurricane force winds and a life-threatening storm surge that are on the way. I didn't see anything yet, but Ceiling was very right earlier in saying right now Mexico is getting hit with this massive, powerful storm.
Everybody in Florida, and I get it. I was saying this yesterday. I like things to be about me. So everybody in Florida is just talking about Florida, this is going to hit us so bad, Florida. I'm like, this thing is over land, or at least close enough to land that Cancun is getting spanked right now.
I'm surprised that we're not getting any live shots from there. No correspondence. anyone just want to check in on the places that us Americans go to all the time?
What do you guys got
vacation?
up there in your studio? Is it CNN? What's up there?
Fox 35.
Fox 35? Okay.
And they're at the airport. Tampa International Airport has now been shut down.
It's closed.
Damn.
So
it's early, too.
That's what they're covering right now.
That's pretty early that they're shutting down that airport. They can't be getting any significant winds just
They're
yet.
getting a little bit of wind, I think. Let me go
Are they?
look at Tampa real fast.
Yeah, take a look at that if you can. So that's what's on the way. Tampa airport shut down. The rest of the airports in Florida and Central Florida and a lot of these places will be shut down soon. Palm Beach, you're looking good. You're looking okay as far as everybody's expectations go. Don't get too confident, though, because we've seen these storms before where we go, here's the path, here's the path, here's the path. Oh, no. And then it moves at the last minute and there's a swerve. It could be that it heads through South Florida, but that's not where the trajectory seems to be taking it just yet. There will still be winds, rain, all the accoutrements that you get with the storm headed your way if you're in South Florida, especially if you're a little farther up. Maybe you're in Port St. Lucie, Vero Beach, you folks right in there. You're going to be seeing some impact from this. And I know people don't quite think about it this way. When we think storm surge and we have a hurricane coming for the west coast of Florida, we think storm surge on the west coast, which is true. That's where the biggest storm surge is. But there's a storm surge on the east coast, too. It happens on both sides of the state as the hurricane spins around, obviously. This from the National Hurricane Center says a large area of destructive storm surge with highest inundations of 10 feet or greater, that's 10 foot of storm surge, is expected along a portion of the west central coast of the Florida Peninsula. If you are in the storm surge warning area, this is an extremely life-threatening situation, and you should evacuate today if ordered by local officials. Let's stop there and get legal for a second here, Moses. When we hear things like mandatory evacuation, people are evacuated. Somebody said earlier, are they going door to door? Is somebody like a cop saying, get on out of here? What are your rights in that moment?
I mean, typically you can do what you want, but just know if you don't evacuate, you could die, and they're not going to. If you're in a bad situation, nobody's coming for you.
Yeah. If everybody's evacuated, there's no ambulance to come pick you up. Right. There's no hospital necessarily to take you to. I know Sabrina sent this over earlier. We didn't get a chance to watch this yet. Let me see if I can bring this footage up from TikTok. Hang on. I might have to download this because it doesn't want me to open it up on a wider screen. That's okay. Hang
All right,
on.
I guess it doesn't look that windy there. We're looking at Pinellas County right here on one of the bridges, and nothing's really moving around much.
I am surprised there's not more traffic. Everyone got here already.
Yeah, it's been kind of light. It seems
That's nothing. Just for you listening, it's a breeze. You can ride a skateboard down the road. There's not a lot of traffic at all. Here's the thing Sabrina said. I could play this, correct?
Oh yeah, it's just the officer on speaker.
All right, and where are they at? Do you know? Somewhere in Tampa, St. Pete?
I believe St. Pete, but that was just the comment that was given to me with the person who sent it.
All right, this is cops driving through, and just for the record, you see all these houses that have just been hit by one hurricane, and there is piles and piles and piles of debris. I'm talking about like 6-foot piles of debris on the sides of the street by these homes, and now they've got another hurricane.
If you choose not to evacuate, you do so at your own risk. Once the weather conditions deteriorate and flooding conditions begin, officers may not be able to help you leave your home.
Just cruising through. Man,
it gives me Purge vibes.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's very purgy. So that's what they're doing in some of these neighborhoods.
Replace floods with murder.
The piles of debris. I don't know if you guys are friends with our old sales manager on Facebook.
Of course.
But that's what it looked like outside his house.
Oh, really?
That bad?
Yeah.
My God.
And all that's just going to be flying around.
What do people need to do, know, legally speaking, preparing for a hurricane like this and potential homeowners insurance claims? Do they need to go around and take a picture of their fence? Video.
Yeah, I mean, that's
house?
the best thing you can do. I know somebody messaged in yesterday anonymously and kind of said that. But yeah, the more that you can document, whether it's your cars, your home, your roof, video, pictures, all that documentation is good. if you have to make a claim, if there is damage, because, as we've talked about before, insurance companies will look for any reason to deny a claim, any reason to lowball a claim. And one of the ways they do that is they say, oh, that must have been pre-existing damage that was already there. That wasn't from the storm, that was there before. So the more documentation that you can have to show, no, this was the condition before the storm, this was the condition after the storm, the better you're going to be.
So we want to take some photos of stuff. You want to, C-Lane could really knock this up. You could take the drone up in the air, get some good aerials of the roof. If you got a drone, you could do that. That'd be valuable. As for your vehicles, do you need to take any steps to protect your vehicles? Would they say, hey, you should have brought your car into the garage? This damage is because you were inept and you didn't make the right moves.
Not usually, unless you're parking your car in the swimming pool. You're usually allowed to park it wherever
not since college.
You would normally park it. One time.
I know that there's many people trying to prepare for all of these things, so I want to make sure we get as much of this out there as we can. What about anything in your yard that could do damage to your neighbors or your neighbor's property? Is that on you?
Well, if it's something that you knew or should have known about that could fly away and be a projectile and you were negligent in not securing that, then there's a possibility that you could be responsible for that. Now, this is an act of God. So, typically, as long as you're acting reasonably, you're not going to be responsible for it. But, if you're leaving a bunch of, sharp objects or something that you just know is going to fly away, then you could be liable for it. So just be a good person and clean up some of that stuff to the best of your ability.
Unless it flies so far away that they can't really pinpoint where it came from.
Could do that. I do have a giant dragon float in my pool right now, and I kind of just want to leave it there to see it fly off.
It's not going to do damage.
It won't do any damage.
Fine. I've got houses under construction over here.
That'll be fun. If
a bunch of that stuff flies over here and does destroy my house in some way, would they be liable?
Potentially. Okay. Now, of course, you have homeowners insurance, and that between the two insurance companies as to who
they fight it out
for it. Yeah,
and that's such a nightmare after a storm, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say is, driving out there, people are driving crazy right now. I've seen so many accidents.
Really?
So just be careful when you're on the roads. Yeah, I drove to Sunday. I drove to Tampa and back, and already there was just I-4 was littered with accidents.
Jeez. Well, we know a couple of things that we should get out there.
Did you throw your business cards at them?
I have one of those. It's like a money machine gun, but it shoots business cards straight out the window.
You're on the go.
So, C-Lane, when we were talking about these roads that have the left shoulder opened up, so you can use that as another lane, I want to reiterate that. Was that on all roads? Was that on particular roads? Where was that you were able to do that?
It's looking like a lot of them. Let's see. I have...
tolls are suspended too, I think.
Northbound I-75 emergency shoulder use is being implemented from Tampa to I-10. In the left shoulder only, the right shoulders for emergency use only. Follow directions and road signs from FHP. It says the same thing for eastbound I-4 in Marion, Sumter Lake, Flagler, Volusia, Seminole, Orange, Brevard, and Osceola. Hillsborough. It's basically northbound I-75 and eastbound I-4 are the places that you can do that. And then somebody said they saw something about it on 408, so maybe that's an option too, but I don't really think you need to.
All right, the latest from Fox 35, our friends over there saying extremely dangerous Category 4 storm Milton is going to grow in size on its way to Florida. This is expected to stay a major hurricane before making landfall over Florida. Tuesday is the last full day for Florida residents and their families to get ready and evacuate if they're told to do so, according to the National Hurricane Center. As of 2 p.m., Hurricane Milton is 520 miles away from Tampa, Florida, with sustained winds of 155 miles per hour, slightly stronger than its previous update. It's moving east-northeast at 8 miles per hour, and that minimum central pressure is 923 millibars, which all I know is I think the lower the pressure is, the stronger the storm is. That's about what I know about that. On Fox 35's website, you can find all the evacuation zones and all the different places that are closed as a result of this. I think a lot of people, did it seem, Mo, driving out there, like a lot of people have today off, or...
I think they either do or they're taking today to get prepared and take some time to get prepared, because there's a lot of people out there. Stores are packed, shelves are cleared, as you know, and hopefully everybody's ready. I mean, as ready as you can be, right?
Yeah. Did you try to go shopping, or did you not have to go to the grocery store?
I had already done a grocery order on Saturday, just because.
Look at you!
I usually have it delivered on the
Did you
weekend.
know something?
Look at this guy getting ahead of me.
And then I swung by Publix and grabbed some extra beer and wine this morning.
There you go.
I actually tried to go yesterday, and I didn't have my ID, and they wouldn't sell it to me.
They wouldn't?
No.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Well,
you
that makes you
look
feel
Such a
20.
baby face.
I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah.
I had one specific time that they ID'd me that I forgot to bring it in, and they still sold it to me because I was buying a giant box of wine and a giant box of tampons, and they were like, and they were like, "Oh no, you need this."
Sir, go put those back on the shelves. You're not able to do that right now. Let's get to some dispatches. Let's see what you got going on. We've got Eric talking about the interview that we did with Devin's mother.
Hey there, Junkies. Great interview with the mother of Devin's mother. Probably about 10 years ago, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, here in Ocala, there was a gentleman that was going down Route 27, and he encountered someone that either jumped off a bridge or jumped in front of his car that was trying to commit suicide, and he succeeded. And the driver of the vehicle had low amounts of alcohol, similar to Devin's case, and he was charged with vehicular homicide.
Really?
I never knew how it turned out. I don't know why I lost interest in it, but that was a story that was going around the Ocala area for a while. It was crazy. Great interview, though. Just fantastic interview. I wish her well. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you. And
I don't know if it's the same story he's talking about, but I remember a similar story. I don't know if it's the exact same story, but
where somebody was trying to take their own life and a car hit them?
This one, yeah, basically that. It was disputed whether the person was taking their own life or not, but they clearly were walking in front of traffic into a busy highway. And the person there who did have low levels of alcohol was sentenced to 10 years.
Jeez.
So again, it was disputed whether he was taking his own life or not, depending what side of the case you were on. And it may be a different case than he's referring to.
Is the justice system not really constructed for stories with a lot of nuance like that?
A lot of times it's not. I mean, the judges have guidelines that they have to follow.
Kind of based on the first of their cases, or like the precedent. Usually that's set by other cases. They'll go back to it, and they continue even years later with that same precedent. Or am I saying this wrong? This is why I'm not an attorney and I'm on the radio.
I mean, there's a statute that the judge must operate within, right? The judge and the jury have to operate within the bounds of the statute. So, oftentimes, and this is kind of one of the reasons I have a problem when celebrities get involved in cases, because they make these big pushes for things to be changed. But like I said before, bad facts make bad law. So you have these, maybe it's a horrific case, and you modify the statute to fit this horrific case, but now it has unintended consequences on the next person. Of course, no law is ever perfect. The justice system's never perfect. But sometimes when you do these things and you think you're doing a good thing, we're making it really tough on people who are driving recklessly and killing other people out there.
Yeah.
But you don't think about a case like this.
Somebody gets ensnared in
Again,
it.
It's not what it was intended.
And if you tracked it back to the person who is responsible for this law, even they would probably agree, like, oh, no, this wasn't.
That's not ever what I intended.
Boy. All right, quick break. When we return, we're going to get into more of these comments. Any questions you have for Moses or in general about Hurricane Milton, fire those off as dispatches. Right now is a really good time to get those in, because we're going to be playing some next. And I want to talk about this woman who is in the news, and she has the most wild dating history I have heard of in a very, very long time. I'm very interested in telling you more about this mysterious woman. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Threads at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733. From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
It's going to be busy on the minor roadways, and there's a lot of congestion on some of the major roadways, so just travel with caution and keep in mind local crews and police presence could be near the road, so travel with caution. There's slowdowns on I-4 eastbound approaching State Road 429, bumper-to-bumper traffic on I-75, and slowdowns on I-4 eastbound approaching St. John's River Bridge there. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan Injury Law Firm.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, folks, as we get prepared for the storm here, it's important you remember if you have any major issues, you can reach out to Mills Air. And as soon as they can, as soon as it's safe, their techs will be out there helping people just like you to get you back up and running. If your air conditioning is not working, that is not a comfortable way to be living. You deserve better than that. That's why you call Mills Air. They've been in business since 1992. That is over 30 years. So they know what they're doing, and you know they're doing it right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be around that long. Their techs can service any brand out there, and they're a Carrier factory authorized dealer. That can get you access to really big rebates toward a brand new Carrier unit. You can always turn to the experts at Carrier, and you can always turn to family-owned and operated Mills Air. Give them a call at 407-277-1159. Or find them online at millsair.com.
Sponsored by the Nickley Group with Keller Williams Realty. Get a guaranteed cash offer on your home at thenickley.com.
Another month, another high utility bill. You know, those old windows and doors might be the culprit, letting valuable energy escape, and money too. Upgrade them with Renewal by Andersen. At Renewal by Andersen, their energy efficient windows and doors have the latest advanced technology, keeping your home comfortable year round, helping reduce your energy costs and make your home more eco-friendly too. Here's what Robert had to say just 3 days ago. Our experience with every employee of Renewal by Andersen was exceptional. The windows that were installed are better than expected. A big thank you. For the month of October, Renewal by Andersen is offering buy 4 windows and or patio doors, get the 5th one free. Plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. Some restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for all the details. Again, that's bestwindowsflorida.com. Official partner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. License number CGC 1527613.
Is it a cold, allergies, or could it be a sinus issue? Aspire Allergy and Sinus can help you find out. A recent study has shown that 45% of patients who suffer from allergies also suffer from chronic sinus issues that are often left untreated. So ditch those nasal sprays and over-the-counter meds for good and find a solution that actually works. The specialists at Aspire Allergy and Sinus make it easy by identifying the problem and creating a custom plan to tackle it. Go to aspireallergy.com to schedule your appointment. That's aspireallergy.com.
Get your lawn ready for fall with help from Tools Ace Hardware and Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Stop by one of Tools' 11 Steel locations with service and repair centers for a tune-up on your equipment. Or take advantage of fall savings on blowers, trimmers, and more. Right now, save $50 on the gas-powered MS250 chainsaw or the battery-powered BGA 57 handheld blower. At Tools, we service what we sell, which means you can bring in your Steel Outdoor Power Equipment to one of our 11 locations for any repairs or warranty issues. Tools is here to help with 13 locations in Central Florida. Visit toolsacehardware.com to find a location near you. Tools Ace Hardware, your local helpful place.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. When dining out or shopping at the grocery store, ask for sustainable seafood. By choosing sustainable seafood, you can help reduce overfishing, bycatch, loss of top predators, illegal fishing, and other harmful environmental impacts. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
As storm season heats up, your Better Business Bureau reminds you to make a list now of trusted professionals. If you need help after a hurricane, who will you trust? Protect your home and family by choosing licensed, reputable professionals. Turn to bbb.org to find a better business.
Columbus Day weekend, visit Cocoa Beach on the Space Coast and support the National Kidney Foundation's 39th Annual Surf Fest, featuring hundreds of competitive surfers in pro and amateur divisions, live entertainment, and fun for the entire family. For more information, visit nkfsurf.com.
Oh, here we go. The next generation of WWE superstars.
Welcome to NXT.
Is here.
NXT on the CW.
The CW is the official home of NXT Wrestling.
This is gonna be fun.
Tonight, don't miss special guest superstar Randy Orton live from St. Louis.
Get hype, baby! Pumped!
It's an all-new NXT live tonight on the CW.
Tonight, starting at 8 on CW18.
New South Window Solutions. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Filling you in on the shocking details. Just try not to pass out. This is the...
Say people aren't driving as smart as they probably should and as safe as they probably should. So make up for that by doing it yourself. And be safe throughout the, obviously, extent and duration of this entire storm experience that we're having with Milton. The latest on that coming up in just a moment. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. You can email the show anytime you'd like. And if you want to go a little further, you could send us a dispatch. Even further, send us a video dispatch.
Ooh,
so we
see
can
your
see
face.
it. I like that. We get to go into your world when that happens. But I wanted to talk about this woman who's in the news today, and I find this to be so interesting to me. There's a woman named Noor Al-Allah is her name. Noor Al-Allah, and I'll see if I can bring her up here. Give me just a second. They said this woman is the mother of Al Pacino's young child. You know how, like, not that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
They said Al Pacino had a baby.
20-something?
She's very young, yeah. And
I know exactly what you're talking about. And she has a type, from what I understand.
Yes.
Okay.
They call her the Pete Davidson of celebrity nursing homes. That's what they call this lady.
She dated, who else was it? It was...
She was just seen with Bill Maher, who is the political commentator. She dated Mick Jagger when he was 74. Obviously linked to Pacino because they have a son together.
I thought you were going to say obviously linked to the Rolling Stones, like we didn't know who Mick Jagger was.
She
Maroon
dated
5 guy.
She dated Clint Eastwood when Clint Eastwood was 88 years old. Okay,
back when he was a youngin'.
Yeah, she dated all these old celebrities, and they say she's the LeBron James of dating senior citizens. She's the GOAT, and the crazy thing is, somebody found out she's independently wealthy, like of all of these people. She's not getting her money through the celebrities that are super old that she's dating. She's just into super old famous guys, I guess.
And a couple of billionaires, too, right? From, like, the Middle East or...
Yeah, she's had quite the history, it seems. I'm looking here at some of the photos here. And Mick Jagger, she dated in 2017 when he was 74 and she was 23. And Al Pacino, I'm looking at, where she was at some event with him. And she looks so young compared to Al Pacino. My God.
So interesting.
Al Pacino right here, raggedy looking with a million years on him. And then she's next to him. She had his baby. Yep, that's correct. Noor Al-Allah, Noor is her name. Al-Allah, Alfallah.
That's fascinating that his swimmers still work, you know?
Yeah. Isn't that weird? You get people pregnant up to like the end of your life. It doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't necessarily be the case, but it's how it works out. And they said this woman she graduated from the University of Southern California Cinematic School of Arts. She has a master's degree in film and TV producing. She's a founder of an investment firm called 31 Capital from California, so she got her own money. She just likes these old dudes who are famous, and she's into them. The latest being Bill Maher, I guess.
31 Capital. It's how to make capital so long as you're dating someone 31 years or older than you.
Or 31 years older than you, even, with her. Some of these guys are in their 80s. God almighty.
But they must have talked to each other, right? Like,
I guess.
There's a circle there, obviously.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't picture myself doing it. Like,
Do you think there's like an old celebrity that she hasn't dated that's like looking at this and going, you're saying there's a chance?
Frankie Valli.
It could be. Frankie Valli might be on the top of her list. Get him now while you can. Let's go over to a couple of dispatches. Let's see what we got. Here's Musical Matt, who wants to join us today.
Hi, News Junkies.
Aww.
This is Winter Neil and Ava Jan. We're here to talk about the hurricane.
I got to tell you, on the transcription of this, it says, "Hey, News Junkies, this is Winter and a Virgin." So I was very
kind of surprised to hear kids.
I was like, where are we going here?
Hi, News Junkies. This is Winter Neil and Ava Jan.
Ava Joan, I
We're
think.
here to talk about the hurricane that is coming.
Yep.
With a flood.
With a flood.
Everybody stay safe. And we are going to go to where, Winter?
Our mom's work and yeah.
All right.
Say, love your show.
Now,
Bye, junkies. Ready?
Wiggle, wiggle, pop, pop. Wiggle,
God.
wiggle, pop, pop.
Would you have thought that Wiggle Wiggle Pop Pop would be this resilient?
with children, yes.
It stays on this long?
Also,
It's stuck to the show?
They have been waiting to hear that dispatch, and now Dad has to explain what a virgin is.
That virgin is just somebody who works in a...
It's when you get a drink that has no alcohol.
That's right. It's a
What's
drink with no
alcohol?
alcohol in it. Yeah. Alcohol is
what Daddy likes.
Daddy's happy juice.
Alcohol is what Daddy bought for the hurricane.
Yeah.
He needs it to survive.
I think Courtney just got back from the liquor store, speaking of that. So I didn't want to stock up too much, so you start to look.
Right, you don't want to look like you have a problem.
I don't want to be in there with a cart. You know, you never want to be the person at the liquor store with a cart. I have done it before. I think C-Lane and I did it when we were doing one of the Just Okay events at the Plaza Live.
Yeah, but that's not a liquor store we normally go to, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't look as bad.
Buddy.
And they start saying, "Hey, great to see you."
No, when they start telling me how big my kid is getting.
Oh.
That has been a thing lately.
They
He's
know
getting
too
so
much.
big. How old is he now? Hey, I haven't
God.
seen you in a while, buddy.
This is not even his first hurricane, which is crazy, right? Because we count the other one, the one we just went. Helene. Helene was his first hurricane?
No, I think...
oh, my God. This poor guy's this is his third.
I think there might have been another one.
Jesus.
I don't remember.
All right. Well, we're going to stop down for a second and take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do these things. We're going to do the final dispatch.
All right.
And we're playing more than one. It's happening. We're going to do the stories that didn't make the cut. We're going to do Today I Learned. And above and beyond that, we're going to tell you what the schedule is moving forward, what kind of coverage you're going to see. As tomorrow's going to start getting a little more wild on the show. And we're going to have everything you need right here to stay on top of the storm. No matter where it goes and no matter how it impacts you, we'll be on top of that. So keep your radio where it is. And if power goes out, hit us up on iHeart, on your phone, or an old-fashioned radio. If you got a radio, put some batteries in that sucker, put it off to the side, and get us all set up, because we're going to be your companion through this thing. When we come back, we'll do all that and get set up for the storm. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is the Jim Colbert Show.
You can call me Puzzle Master.
Definitely not going to do that.
How about Big Daddy?
The Jim Colbert Show. Weekdays at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
This weather report is brought to you by Mills Air.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Brooks Garner with your Fox 35 Central Florida forecast, and all eyes on Hurricane Milton, set to move through Central Florida late tomorrow night and into the first half of the day Thursday. Out ahead of it for today, look for scattered showers and a few downpours. High temperatures in the lower 80s. For tomorrow, conditions deteriorating after 5 p.m. Hurricane force winds coming in around midnight on Wednesday. But a flood threat is going to be a major problem for our region. Flash flooding ahead.
This report is sponsored by Norton 360.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Boost your password security with Norton 360. Weak passwords can be targets. That's why Password Manager is included in Norton 360 to help keep you safe. Get comprehensive protection and up to 58% off at norton.com/secure.
Let me tell you about Blue Chew. This is something you got to try, and you'll see that it is a performance enhancement for the bedroom. It'll give you even more confidence when it's time to perform. This is Blue Chew, and the website is bluechew.com. And Blue Chew is a unique online service that's going to get you the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it's chewable, and it's a fraction of the cost. And it's an online prescription service, so nothing is awkward about it at all. You just get something shipped right to your door in a discreet package so you could try it out. They use licensed medical providers that work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for you. And you don't have to worry about swallowing pills. These are chewable tablets made in the USA. You got a special deal lined up just for you. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code TNJ at checkout. You just pay $5 for shipping. That's it. If you've been wondering how this works and if it'll work for you in the bedroom, bluechew.com, promo code TNJ to get your first month free. That's bluechew.com.
I guess, going into International Diamond Center and them getting to know me personally and finding out that I am a nurse, a first responder, they offered a gracious discount, so definitely helped with my purchase.
Meet Crystal Caban, Air Force veteran and now critical care nurse. She's happily wearing several pieces of jewelry from IDC.
Knowing that I'm not coming in to spend a lot of money, just knowing that they're supportive with the first responders and getting a discount really helped entice me in making my purchase.
At IDC, we roll out the red carpet for heroes in uniform like Crystal every day, with personalized service and a 15% discount over and above IDC's everyday unbeatable price.
I felt so warmed and welcomed, and that's just what kept us coming back again and again.
Are you a first-time responder or veteran? Join Crystal and countless others who've made International Diamond Center their home for jewelry.
Hi, I'm Crystal Caban. I would highly recommend International Diamond Center to any first responder.
International Diamond Center.
They will absolutely take care of you. I promise you that.
3 convenient Orlando locations.
Hey, Leesburg, get ready for an evening of fun and excitement this Friday from 5 to 9 p.m. Join us at Town Square for live music featuring the incredible Miguel Larson. But that's not all. Experience the magic of our evening market on 5th Street. Browse unique finds and tasty treats. Grab a drink, ice cream, or savory snack from one of our downtown establishments as you stroll and discover Leesburg. Mark your calendars for this Friday. Discover Leesburg. Go to Leesburg Special Events on Facebook for more info.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's ALL to 321-321.
Wawa makes the right handcrafted beverages for the right time. And now, handcrafted beverages are just $3 or $4. Jump out of bed for an iced latte. Take a lunch break for a smoothie. Or celebrate with a late-night milkshake. Wawa makes the right beverages for the right time. Now at an even better price. Get smoothies, lattes, or any handcrafted 16-ounce or 24-ounce beverage for just $3 or $4. Gotta have a Wawa.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yup.
And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins, they won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner. So I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Sharp stomach pain? Advice is here. Consult a nurse. Answers, advice around the clock. Consult a nurse. HCA Florida Healthcare. We show up for you. Call 844-70-NURSE. It's free.
This earful of real radio is brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go? JustCallMo.com.
Radio. They're best friends, unless they're fighting. Are they fighting? It's the news.
Stories that didn't make the cut. And today I learned to wrap everything up for a Tuesday. And thank you for hanging out with us on a Share the Show Tuesday, friend. I just received some not so fantastic news.
What happened?
Go on.
I've only got like 50 miles, 60 miles left in gas in my car because I didn't know that I was going to have to fill it up and drive around a bunch. And I guess we got to go get Courtney's parents' dogs because they're out of the country right now.
Oh.
And so the dogs are being boarded at a place, but I think that they don't do that during a storm. So we got to go get their dogs. And now I got to try to find gas. And Courtney said all the places around here are out of gas.
Even the one
bunch of spots.
right in between?
Yeah. I don't know which one she's gone to, but she says she's gone to 2, 3 of them.
Damn.
Well, I think I might go try that one down by Van Barry's.
Oh.
You know that gas station that has like 1 million pumps and there's never anybody there?
That's a good spot.
Racetrack, I think.
Is it? That place is massive. It's got to be something.
I guarantee
there.
there's people there today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a day like this, right before everything.
So there was a 7-Eleven that's not totally far from you that did not have gas when I pulled in there this morning. I thought about topping off. I have enough gas. But as I was leaving, there was a truck pulling in and starting to load them up. So it's
good.
They're getting refills.
If you want, I just filled up so you can siphon some out of the tank. Just have to suck off that hose.
I have not siphoned gas in a very long time. I don't think today is going to be the first day in a long time that I'm going to do that, but
just saying the offer's there.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the offer for sure. I'll have to go on a hunting adventure to find gas after the show. Everybody else in their own ways getting ready, going to the store, doing those things. Eric says use Courtney's car. Her key is busted at the moment, so
right.
got lots of strange
Google
problems
how to
piling
hotwire cute little car that belongs to Courtney.
I'll be in the middle of the storm trying to make things happen. But if you want to know whether you're supposed to evacuate or not, make sure you're listening to your local officials. You should know by now. And strangely enough, we've seen, and I'm kind of surprised by this with C-Lane bringing up the traffic cams, that it hasn't been that bad today.
Okay, there was just one. I can't get to it anymore, but there was just one that was
shaky.
shaking around like the wind was starting.
Already? That's in the Tampa area?
Yeah.
So they're starting to get
but the traffic is still really clear.
Yeah, maybe everybody got out yesterday when we were looking. The wind's starting to pick up there, though. That's interesting.
That's a
Drunk guy shaking the pole.
Yeah,
How could you imagine? It's just some crazy guy hanging onto the camera. I'd love that.
Yeah. There's free, wide open streets on this one with State Road 60, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wanting to head out and you're thinking, I can't do it because there's too much traffic, you should be good to go. You should be all right. Let's see. We should do the final dispatches. Yeah, let's do that.
These are the final dispatches, but Sean will probably only play one.
We'll see. We shall see. Don't forget, you can send these around the clock. It doesn't have to be just during the show. If you got something you want us to address at a later time, that's fine as well. But for now, let's see what we have. Here is Robert talking about using the shoulder of the road.
That using the shoulder is only for going below 40 miles an hour.
Is that true?
We saw much faster than that.
Yeah, they were flying in the video we were watching.
I don't think it said that in the alert, but it just says what I read.
Try to stop me, coppa.
Here's Mike the trucker.
Hey guys, it's Mike the trucker. Just giving you a first-hand account of the traffic on I-75. I took it from Ocala south to the turnpike to head to Orlando this morning, and traffic was terrible on I-75 northbound.
Oh.
Definitely would avoid it if you can. All right, guys, y'all be safe.
Do we have a camera on that, C-Lane?
I do.
You do?
You want to see I-75 northbound?
Yeah.
Let's look at here. And yeah, this is like kind of near.
That's a little bit different.
Kind of near where the turnpike dumps off.
I'm assuming OUC, but electric linemen.
Yeah.
Just a couple already headed that way.
One direction of the road, nothing. Barely any cars at all. The other direction, heading north and getting out of town, real backed up right now.
Speaking of trucker, I was going through my bug out bag and making sure everything was good to go. Found that CB radio that we used for a bit a long time ago. I'm going to have it set up. I need to also Google like how to set it up, but there's like an antenna and everything, and if everything goes down, that would be my only form of communication, right?
That it could be, yeah.
And just ask a trucker to come save me?
That's a lifeline that's beyond what you have right now. If you lose your power, lose your internet, I mean, Mo will be fine. He'll be cruising on his Starlink, but...
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I like the idea that Mo's on his Starlink, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, Sabrina is on CB radio, trying to get to the truckers to
I have
find out
a
what's
Prime
happening.
Day power bank that is going to be used for, I believe, my Wi-Fi and light for the litter box, and I'll be good to go.
You think Amazon will be delivering tomorrow?
We'll tell you this right now, they are not.
They're not? Okay.
I already tried to order something in Prime last night, and it's all Sunday or Monday because of the weather.
Yeah, all right. So I figured that was going to take hold here pretty soon. Maybe if you had some stuff that was already going to be delivered today, that might be the case.
Ooh, there's another shot of the turnpike meeting 75.
All right.
That does not
Traffic
look
is
fun to
building
be in.
All right, so it looks like everybody who's getting out of Tampa got out of Tampa. But the other roads where people are heading north to get to maybe Alabama, where Mo's plane is, or other spots like that.
Don't know why I had to say it like that.
Alabama!
I was going to visit the plane.
If you want to grab a plane, I'm just saying there's one hanging out in Alabama for you, if
need
you're
the
interested.
key code.
All right, that's going to do it. Let's do the stories that didn't make the cut. Brought to you by our friends at Cento Family Moving and Storage.
That's right. Those guys are the best. Forget the stress. Move with the best. That's not just a motto. That is what they do. And it was such a weight off my shoulder having Cento Family Moving and Storage move my stuff and not having to, pack it all up or get like the blankets and stuff that you put around your couch and your furniture. No, they do all that for you, and they do it very quickly and efficiently. And they're very nice guys, and we know so many people who have moved with Cento. You should be next. Get a quote today at CENTOmoving.com.
There's a story about Anne Hathaway being rude, and when I read this, I said, you can go F yourself. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. This woman who wanted to say that Anne Hathaway is rude. Here's the question she asked. She said, I was going to ask you to do the first question singing. Can I sing it to you, and then you sing back the answer? And Anne Hathaway had said, well, I'm not going to be doing that, but you're more than welcome to sing. And because of that,
this is so long ago. This was for Les Mis.
Yeah,
press
it's
junket.
Resurfaced or, has been unearthed, as they say. You're like, this is something that's not even new, and they're trying to say Anne Hathaway's rude. That's not rude. That's annoying to ask her to do that. It's weird that you're wanting to
She was a bit dismissive, but I imagine that was probably her 37th interview of that day.
Yeah, so many people, and they're all annoying. Moses, thanks for hanging out with us.
So many people, and they're all annoying.
There's a lot of them in media, Mo, that are just annoying.
And
they
your
ask stupid
request
questions.
to interview Sean Wasson, tipsathenewsjunkie.com. He is excited to talk to you.
Turning them all
Singing
down.
interviews only.
Yeah, it's not happening. Just like Anne Hathaway. Mo, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks,
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you. We hope you do well during the storm.
Oh, I'll be here. We're gonna bunk up.
You can call this place home if you'd like over the next 48 hours.
You just got to bring that Starlink over.
You're gonna need the internet.
All right,
and some gasoline if you don't mind. I'll need that.
So
too.
you got that for the plane? That thing works good in the air?
We haven't tried it yet, so I ordered it for the plane. I'm waiting for the mount to come in. We got like a suction cup mount that just goes against the window.
Isn't it crazy how that works? And you can use them in RVs.
Suction cup?
Yeah.
Most of the people buy them
it's
for
on
their
the inside of the plane, not the outside.
Oh, people buy them for their boats too. They're buying for boats, and it's like what a market. They're now.
Last cruise I went on, the Wi-Fi was. I mean, when I did the speed test, it was from Starlink.
Man,
so that's how they did their cruise Wi-Fi.
All right.
Yeah, and now they're not letting you bring Starlink minis on cruises.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How rude.
Imagine that.
All right, let's do Today I Learned.
The following information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ. So don't get cocky. Now it's time for what we call Today I Learned.
Today I Learned for Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. Today I Learned this band right here.
Frankie McDonald.
CCR is correct. Frankie McDonald, unfortunately, incorrect. In the 1980s, Tom Fogerty, rhythm guitarist for Creedence Clearwater Revival, underwent back surgery. He was given a blood transfusion that was not screened, and he became infected with HIV as a result of it. That was back in the day. That was much more common back then. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
What a note to leave off.
Hang with us. We're going to have coverage on Hurricane Milton and everything to expect moving forward right here. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Missed any of the show? Get the podcast at thenewsjunkie.com.